told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to... Is this working? We got audio here? Okay, I just make sure we got audio here. We had trouble with audio in the recent past. Welcome back to the program. We're going to have live coverage here of the arraignment of former President Donald John Trump at Miami Federal Courthouse. And let me just get this thing going here. See where we're up there right now. Yeah. All right. I'm doing it on this channel, so I got to be careful here because it's been acting up here when it comes to... Let me try this. So we're going to have to play around here because this is the old channel, and all of my settings got screwed up here when they put the channel in suspension for a while. So let me just try this really quickly here. I'm going to have to turn off my camera, so please be patient for a moment here, folks. Trump, I'll talk about the indictment. He's supposed to come on, appear at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in about 23 minutes. Hello to everybody. Dion, John Hing, Courtney McBride, Erica, Dylan Comberg, John Mostert, Transconservative Waifu, Carl, welcome back, Transconservative, been a while. Antoinette LaRue, Val Cooper, Myra Page, Tracy Wolf, the Crypto Noob is back, and Mookie Unger. Please support Trump. The world needs him. Yeah, well, it's not happening. Let's see. And there's Matt Canali as well. Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I've got to play around with my camera, so please be patient on me here. So just be a second there. That view you're seeing, by the way, is none other than Pikes Peak in Colorado. So what do you guys think of that? Small. I got to make a small window here. Add a source, and let me get my camera here. There we go. All right. I got to configure this thing. It's not default custom. Then we want to go to 19 by 20. Okay, why is it not working right? There we go. Okay, yeah. So that's what happens when you mess around with Streamlabs OBS. You got to play around with a little bit there. So let me get this sorted out. I'm going to make myself a commentator on what we see coming up here shortly. So there we go. All right, so now I've got that, and we're not going to go to the camera yet. So let me turn that off and turn. Whoops, up still stays on. So hang on a second. I got to mess with the settings now. Deactivate when not showing. There we go. All right, still not deactivated. There we go. All right, so now we got that working. Let's see if the other camera still works. Okay, there we go. That's good news. Pikes Peak can't hold a can to the Wasatch Mountains in Utah. I didn't say it could. Is this a real live? It is live, Johan Mostert, and in fact is a live stream. So I'm going to be giving you a feed from Right Side Broadcasting. There's a huge crowd outside the federal courthouse in Miami. Surprise, surprise. This is not live for some reason. There we go. Let me jump ahead to the live. Yeah, there we go. We're live now. And yeah, so people are quite a crowd out there. I'm going to talk to you about the indictment first, then we'll go to the live coverage, okay? So let me talk to you the indictment. I have the indictment here. Let me get rid of this here. There we go. Okay, so let me zoom it down a little bit. It's kind of big there. 150, 125 is private size. So this is the indictment handed down by the Department of Injustice under Meritless Garland against Donald John Trump. And I say that because they have delegitimized themselves as the Department of Justice. They're anything but the Department of Justice, going after select cases and ignoring other cases. So here's the actual indictment, Donald Trump and Waltine Nauta. So the defendant, Donald John Trump, was the 54, excuse me, blow it up a little bit so you can read it, because I realize you probably can't read all this. There we go. Was the 45th President of the United States of America, held office from January 2017 to January 2021. He's had access to the most sensitive classified documents, national defense information, yada, yada, yada. Of course, this presidency gathered newspapers, press clippings, letters, notes, cards, photographs, official documents, other materials, and cardboard boxes that he kept in the White House. Among the materials stored, there were hundreds of classified documents. Classified documents he stored in the box include information regarding defense and weapons capabilities of the United States and foreign countries, U.S. nuclear programs, yada, 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 yada. The unauthorized disclosure of these documents could put at risk national security of the United States, foreign relations and safety of the United States, military and human sources, continued viability of sensitive intelligence. Collection methods. Agreed 100%, as did the stolen top secret sensitive Department information documents by Hillary Clinton, by Sandy Berger, by Joe Biden, and by Mike Pence, all of whom had classified information in their possession unlawfully, and none of those people that I just mentioned had declassification authority. Only one person has original classification and declassification authority in the United States executive branch, and that is Donald John Trump. At the moment, Joseph Robinette Biden, the only person. Everyone else who has it, including myself, when I had the authority and the ability to classify defense information, my authority was derived from the President of the United States. Derivative classification. In the Defense Department, 4,300 officials have the authority, or in the executive branch, 4,300 officials have the authority to classify information based on derivative authority from the President of the United States. That's it. And only the President of the United States can declassify, or the originator. So in the case of where I classified something to protect a source and method, I could declassify that at my discretion. And automatically, things are supposed to be reviewed after a period of time. For human sources, it's 25 years. It goes back and forth. It changes over time. So there you go. All right. If Trump broke the law, should he be held accountable? Yes, he should be held accountable if he broke the law. Hillary Clinton broke the law. She should be in a federal penitentiary. Sandy Berger broke the law. He was slapped on the wrist, and he did it maliciously, stealing multiple documents over many occasions to cover up the crimes of the Bill Clinton administration. Yes, and Mike Pence did it. Joe Biden did it. Now, I don't know if Pence did it by accident, which seems very possible, but Joe Biden clearly did it intentionally. And I also know from a person, very firsthand knowledge, that the Vice President of the United States habitually traveled on the Acela train from D.C. to Delaware on the weekends, carrying unauthorized, top secret, sensitive compartment information, classified secret information, top secret, and collateral information, opening it up and exposing it to the public on the train with impunity. And when admonished or not addressed by his staff, both military and civilian, he basically told them to foot-sec that these were his people. There's no danger to U.S. national security. That is the disdain Joe Biden has for this country. We saw the disdain he has for this country this weekend when he put a flag, penned up, which is a flag that is exclusionary and excludes Americans. Not all Americans are included. The rainbow flag arguably covers all Americans. Arguably it does. It celebrates all Americans. I don't agree with that, but that's the purpose of the rainbow flag. But the Progress rainbow flag excludes white Americans and excludes people not of color and excludes heterosexuals. It is a divisionary, exclusionary device, and it was put in a position of prominence at the White House over the United States flag in violation of U.S. flag code, federal law from 1949. Once again, the law-breaking Biden regime broke the law. So Joe Biden should go to jail too. He should go to jail too. Yep. If Trump broke the law, he should pay a price. If Biden broke the law, which we know he did, we now know that Joe Biden, audio recordings of him with the person who claims to have paid a $5 million bribe to the big guy and has identified Joe Biden as the big guy. And that's the story. Anyway, hey, Dan Bailey, how's it going? I don't like the what about. I'm critical. Well, you can play. There's no what about. I'm not playing the what about. I'm still calling for the prosecution of Hillary Clinton, who violated the Espionage Act. I was a badge and credential law enforcement official, a counterintelligence agent for the United States Army, and she violated by her own admission. When people blatantly, openly tell the public that they broke the law and there's no consequences, that's not acceptable. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I call for locking her up before Trump even walked down that escalator in 2015. Not publicly, because I couldn't do that. I was muzzled as a serving active duty member. But it's been my position all along. And the slap on the wrist that Sandy Bergler got was bogus. He should have done prison time. Who knows what criminating evidence was destroyed by Sandy Bergler when he stole from the archives in Washington, D.C. on a repeated basis. No one knows. Those documents are gone forever. Joe Biden stole classified documents over a period of multiple years, hid them in office buildings in D.C. and his garage in Delaware. It's not a whataboutism. They should all be prosecuted. So thank you, Courtney, but no, not buying that story. Classified documents Trump stored include information, yada, yada, yada. Okay, at 12 o'clock on the 21st, or the 20th of January 2020, ceased to be present. As he departed the White House, he caused many scores of boxes, many of which contained classified documents, to be transported to Mar-a-Lago, where he maintained his residence. He was not authorized to possess or retain these classified documents. Number one, that supposes that those documents at that time were classified. Now, I am not of the opinion this nonsense that Trump declassified documents. I'm not buying that, because if they're top secret sensitive compartment information documents, they, by definition, included sensitive programs that you simply cannot just do that. You endanger the programs. So Trump may have said they're declassified, and he may have declassified them, but that in itself is a dangerous action, and he should be rebuked for that action. It puts our sources and methods at risk, just simply declassifying things. That is what Jimmy Carter did in 1979 when he told a press conference that America was spying on people with satellites. The United States had never acknowledged that we use satellites for reconnaissance until Jimmy Carter disclosed that, endangering our classified collection capability in one single stroke. Because he was president, he had the authority to do that. But he didn't have the right to do it. He had the authority. Trump may have had the authority to declassify those documents and may have declassified them, but he didn't have the moral right to do it. He had the authority to do it. There's a difference. And in this case, those documents, this document presupposes, without proving that they weren't declassified, that they remain classified. Now, documents that have been declassified, see, that's what's going to come down to. Donald Trump is going to say, I declassified them. They're going to say, but they're still marked. He just said, well, that's not my fault that they weren't, it wasn't marked properly and lowered classification unclassified. And that's the end of the story. The prosecution can get no further than that. All the defense team has to do is prove that the president said they were declassified or raise a reasonable doubt, and he's innocent on all charges. It's pretty simple. Now, Joe Biden can't do that. He didn't have declassification authority, so he's got a problem. Nor did Mike Pence. So Mar-a-Lago is an active social club. Now, this is where they try to paint this as a danger to the country, where between January 2020 and August 22 hosted events for tens of thousands of members and guests. After Trump's presidency, it was not an authorized location for storage, possession, review, display, or discussion of classified information. Nevertheless, Trump stored his box containing classified documents in various locations of the Mar-a-Lago club, including the ballroom, a bathroom, a shower, an office space, his bedroom, and a storage room. That's very damning. But what's even more damning is that the National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, went to Mar-a-Lago on 3 separate occasions in 2022 to look at these documents. On those 3 occasions in 2022, they did not secure all classified documents at that location. They either didn't do a thorough search or they determined that it was okay to leave what was there. So here's the problem. If, as the FBI and this Department of Injustice contend, Donald Trump continued to possess classified documents and was not cooperating with authorities, then why was NARA at Mar-a-Lago on 3 separate occasions from February 2022 until the raid in August of 2022? Why did that happen? That means the officials at NARA are negligent in their responsibility. They allow classified documents to be stored elsewhere. That's their responsibility to secure that stuff, and the blame falls on them as well. But there's no discussion of charges against officials at the National Archives for their negligence. So either they weren't negligent or they were negligent. If they weren't negligent, this is a bunch of bullshit. If they were negligent, then we need to see charges preferred against them as well. Simple as that, folks. Pretty simple. Well, Johan, nice to see you on your first ever real live. Thanks for being here. It is a barrel of monkeys. Absolutely, the whole thing. On 2 occasions, 2021, he showed classified documents to others as follows. In July 2021, the Trump National Golf Club at Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and senior military officials. Trump told the officials that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but this is still a secret. Well, that is interesting, and that is probably the most damning statement of all of them against Donald Trump. Now, that would surprise me because Donald Trump is full of bravado and braggadocio, and that sounds like braggadocio. Hey, look, this stuff is secret. This hot stuff. I'm showing you this. Now, why would Donald Trump do that? That's absolutely ridiculous. Why would he expose that stuff to a reporter? And what does that recording say? I've not seen it. I'd have to see it. But again, the documents could have been declassified, and Trump is just pulling bullshit, pulling the wool over people's eyes. He's telling people things are classified when they're no longer classified. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me about Donald Trump at all. But that, of course, open your mouth, get yourself into trouble. And that's what Trump is doing here in that recording. On March 30th, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the unlawful retention of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. The grand jury issued a subpoena to turn over all documents with classification markings. Trump endeavored to obstruct the FBI and grand jury investigations to conceal his continued retention of classified documents. Among these, he suggested that his attorney falsely represent the FBI and grand jury that he did not have documents. All right, well, see, the problem with that is you have to prove intent. Donald Trump has to know that he has classified documents and not believe that he declassified them. If Donald Trump honestly believes he declassified them, then they're not classified documents, even if they're marked classified. Does that make sense? That is the truth. Providing the FBI and grand jury just some of the documents called for by the grand jury subpoena while claiming that he was cooperating fully. Now, the problem with this is that the National Archives and Records Administration never made any stink about this from February during their 3 trips until August. And the indictment came, or the raid came just within hours of the suspension of the standard of the Department of Justice not to interfere in an election within 90 days. So within 90 days of an election, they did. Within 90 days of the midterm elections, they did this raid to infect and undermine the elections of 2022. That's what they did. So let's take a look and see if we got any action over here. Nope, people still chatting away. So I got to step into a meeting. Okay, all right. Best to get into the DeSantis boat now, the Trump Titanic sinking. Now that's what the plan was all along, Courtney McBride. That's what the plan was all along. Now remember the headline on January 20th before Trump was sworn in as president, the impeachment has begun. What impeachment? What did Donald Trump do? He had done nothing. It was all lies. Everything's been a lie against Trump. Trump's a racist. That's nonsense. Look, I don't care for Trump. I've said it a million times. But you people keep, not you, Courtney, but you people keep lying in the press and in the leftist about Donald Trump. All you do is push people in the middle like myself who believe in the truth towards Trump. That's all you do. That's all you accomplish. That is all you do. It is all you do. It's counterproductive. It doesn't meet your desires. As I've said before, if Trump, if you just leave Trump alone and let him step on his own crank, he'll do that. With his braggadocio, with his massive ego, he is bound to step on his own crank. And we've seen that. We've seen Trump step on his own crank. And that audio recording, even if the information is declassified, may be his undoing. Yep. There you go. I'm trying to push you toward DeSantis. No, I'm not going towards DeSantis. DeSantis is a fraud. I don't have a problem with DeSantis bona fides as a conservative, but DeSantis did not lead Florida out of the pandemic. DeSantis imposed the same idiotic restrictions that everyone else did, and not everyone else, but most governors did around the country, unconstitutional. So he violated the Constitution in Florida, just like most governors did. So he doesn't get a free pass on that. The media is overlooking that. I'm not overlooking that. Yeah, all it does is make Trump more popular. Yep. Anyway, so back to the indictment, and we're still waiting for Trump to make his appearance. All right. So, as we continue down here, as a result of Trump's retention of classified documents after his presidency and refusal to return them, hundreds of classified documents were not recovered by the United States until 2022. On January 17th, nearly 1 year after Trump left office, after months of demands by the National Archives and Records to provide all missing documents, Trump provided only 15 boxes, which contain 197 documents with classification markings. On June 3rd, in response to grand jury subpoena, the production, Trump has provided 38 more documents. On August 8th, the FBI recovered from the Trump office 102 more documents, classification markings. Now, this problem with this argument here is it's presupposing that Trump was intentionally hiding those documents. But the problem with that is that why would Trump continue to hold the documents at Mar-a-Lago when the archives kept coming there? Why aren't they buried in a safe deposit box somewhere? There's a lot of bullshit going on here. A lot of hard stuff to understand here about why this is happening. And of course, Courtney and others will say, whataboutism? It's not about whataboutism. It's about the same standard of justice. There is no standard of justice being applied here. A U.S. Navy soldier took a picture inside a submarine, a nuclear submarine, and spent a year in prison as a convicted felon. Missed the birth of his child because he took a picture. No classified information, no classified equipment. Simply took a picture inside a nuclear submarine, which is by policy prohibited. And the Espionage Act was used against him for violating a policy. No equal justice here whatsoever. This stuff runs deep. What stuff runs deep there, Nigel? Okay. Trump should now say he identifies as Hillary. Boom, he'll be left alone. Exactly. That's exactly right. If Trump identified as Hillary Clinton, he would be free to do what he wants to do. Here, let me just give you a quick look at what's going on outside the courthouse. This is the crowd out there, folks. You hear a little bit of this.
Fee. Incredible deal available for today's event. Supply.
They're selling crap. That's the problem. It's all about making money. It's not about the. Okay, I got to turn off the other camera. Got mixed up on my cameras again here. Okay, turn that one off. All right, let's turn this one on. There we go. Yeah, so we don't need the closed caption. Let me get rid of that. So that's gone. It's just Right Side Broadcasting. This is outside the courtroom in Miami, federal courtroom. And they're telling you to watch on a Rumble. There's no censorship. Yeah, so you can see a pro-Trump crowd outside the courtroom. No doubt there'll be anti-Trump haters floating around as well. But that's the situation in Florida right now. You can see a number of people, citizen journalists running around. That's probably what half the crowd is podcasters, videocasters right now, doing YouTube, trying to take advantage of it and get some new subscribers and views out there. That could very well be what it is, yeah. John, what are you doing here, John? You're like smiling, now you're knock. We said hello. Hi, John, welcome. Glad you made your first live stream. I don't know what you're typing in there. What's going on? Anyway, so I want everyone to stop dying. I don't know what that means, Christoph. Anyway, so yeah, Robert Z.A., welcome to. Good to see you here. So it is the 13th of June, 2023, and the latest scam to get Donald Trump is going on. Now, even if Trump did the things he's accused of, even if he did it, this entire prosecution is still a scam. They've been trying to destroy him since 2015. Anyway, so let's get back to the indictment. Okay, let me turn that off. I got to turn this one off. Okay, and then turn the other one back on. That's unfortunately on my other computer, for some reason, I can flip back and forth. I have to check the settings on my other profile because I can switch back and forth pretty easily. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Let's get back to the indictment while we wait for Trump to show up at the courthouse. All right, so this is the indictment once again. Let me cover this. We'll go through some more of the highlights here. So the Mar-a-Lago Club, located in South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, includes Trump residents and more than 25 guest rooms. There are 150 full-time and part-time and temporary employees. He hosted more than 150 social events, including weddings, movie premieres, fundraisers that drew tens of thousands of guests. The Secret Service provided protection to Trump and his family after he left, including Mar-a-Lago, but they were not responsible for protection of Trump's boxes or their contents. Trump did not inform the Secret Service that he was storing boxes containing classified documents at the Mar-a-Lago Club. Of that, I have no doubt, because Trump believes they were declassified. Now, they're going to tell you, the court, what national security information is. And I don't need to see Executive Order 13526 or the Executive Order 13292 or Executive Order 12958 to know what classified information is. I protected it for 36 years. Anyway, so top secret could cause grievous damage, grave damage in the United States. Secret information would cause serious damage, and confidential causes damage. So that's the three levels. That's why they're called secret, confidential, secret, and top secret. No foreign means no foreign, not releasable to foreign nationals. Gee, well, thanks for sharing that with the public. Classified information related to intelligence sources, methods, analytical processes designated as sensitive compartment information was to be processed, stored, or discussed in an accredited sensitive compartment information facility, and only individuals with appropriate clearance and additional SCI permissions were authorized to have access to it. And nobody on Hillary Clinton's staff was authorized to have access to sensitive compartment information. And Hillary Clinton was not authorized to store that information in a broom closet in an unclassified server. And it sure as hell wasn't authorized to be on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Yes. So there you go. Thank you very much. Peter say, you're welcome. Sherman Potter. Okay. Anyway. All right. Back to when the vulnerability of or threat of specific classified information was exceptional, normal criteria for determining eligibility for access were insufficient to protect information from unauthorized disclosure. Special access programs. Been in them myself. All right, so that's really telling people how it works. Executive branch and agencies whose classified documents Trump retained during his presidency. Trump received intelligence briefings from high-level government officials. Duh. I used to brief the president. No kidding. After his presidency, he retained classified documents originated by or implicating the equities of multiple United States intelligence community members and executive branch departments and agencies. So, Central Intelligence Agency, the Department of Defense, the National Security Agency, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, Department of Energy, Department of State, and Bureau of Intelligence and Research. Every one of those organizations, they make it sound like they're external actors. Every one of those, the DOD, the CIA, the NSA, NGA, NRO, Department of Energy, and Department of State's INR, all work for the President of the United States, and he has the classification authority. They do not. So that's pretty comical to see them attack the president for that. Now, I don't know what's going on now. It's now 3 p.m., and we're supposed to see Trump there. Arraigned at 3 p.m. I don't see anything happening. Let me see if I can find another network and see if someone else is covering it. There's a vlogger down there. He's got 3,000 people. He's in Miami. It must be nice if you're in Miami. It's breaking right in your back door. So he's got 3,000 people watching. I don't see the news covering this. Let's see what. See if it's funny that the press, they've got to be covering this. Usually CBS, ABC have. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's ABC, USA Today. Who else? Now this news. Global News, Associated Press, CNN, CBS Mornings. Yeah, I don't see Sky News covering it, which is interesting. Sky News usually covers this too. USA Today. Let's go ABC News and see what's going on this. So let me take a look over here real quick. Yep. So, yeah, they're talking about it, but they have nobody there. So, once again. Yeah, there's nothing happening at the moment, folks. I can just continue to analyze the indictment. I have a problem with scope, especially the 29 May issue of 1970. They got the girls wrong. Huh? What are you talking about? Jonathan Mostart in Limpopo. Trump did a town hall at CNN and was cornered about Ukraine, and they wanted him to pick a side, and his answer was, I want everyone to stop dying. That's my answer. There's no reason for this conflict. Innocent Ukrainian civilians and soldiers from Ukraine and Russia are dying as a consequence of Joe Biden's cover-up and his proxy war in Ukraine. It needs to stop. It's unnecessary. There's no reason for a war in Cabo Delgado province. There's no reason for a war between Eritrea and Ethiopia provoked by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. No need for that death and misery whatsoever. None whatsoever. Where do you get the flags? What flags? What flags are you talking about? Chief Executive has authority via Section 2 of the Constitution. Without this, then unelected person would control over such things. Correct, Drunken Yoda. The original classification authority for all classified information in the executive branch is the President of the United States. Now, I'm less clear about whether the President of the United States has authority over declassification of congressional or Supreme Court documents, most of which are not classified. I don't know what their authority is there. As president, they're not in charge of those branches, so I'm not really sure. I don't think the president has authority over that. But you'll notice that no classified information from Congress or from the Supreme Court was enlisted in the indictment, only from those other agencies, all of whom work for the President of the United States and derive their classification authority from the President of the United States. Now, you can listen to the talking pundits. You can listen to some vlogger that's standing in Miami, doesn't know his ass from the hole in the ground. You can listen to the pinheads on CNN. You can listen to the pinheads on ABC. And that's your prerogative. And obviously, at least 50 people plus here want to hear it from here. So thank you for that. I am a former intelligence officer in the United States military. Spent 36 years in uniform, 36 and a half years, and support and defend this Constitution around the world. And I've dealt with classified information at all levels, including special access programs for ages. These pinheads know what they're talking about. I do. I was also not just an intelligence official, but a badged and credentialed counterintelligence agent who investigated these very crimes that we're talking about. This is exactly what I did in the military, part of my time. Actually investigated Americans for failing to protect classified information and coming up with methods to protect our country and our secrets from foreign adversaries, and investigate Americans who have betrayed the United States. And they're out there. There are people who betrayed the United States. One of them sitting in the White House right now, selling influence, pay for play. Joe Biden, the big guy. You know him, the big guy. A secret weapon, a gas bag full of toxic. Matthew says, maybe I should go watch CNN. Go ahead, Matthew. Watch the pinheads and CNN all you want, man. John Mustard, I understand. What's your question? What flags? Christoph Smuts says, thank you for protecting Africa. Well, it's my pleasure, Christoph. I mean, of my tours, most of my foreign overseas tours were actually in Africa, even though I spent nearly as much time in Europe. But my overseas tours include Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia, all countries I was stationed in and worked for the betterment of our friends, partners, and allies, defending U.S. equities and our Constitution. So Trump has not shown up yet. There's a whole host of cars driving in front of the courtroom. I don't know if the street is adjacent to it or what's going on here, but we got some, flamboyantly dressed RSBN journalists. Let's listen in to her and see what she's got to say for a moment. This is kind of weird. Let's see what she has to say.
Of that, nor Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails or Hunter Biden's laptop. So it's just an erroneous use of power by the Department of Justice and the FBI. And time again, we're going to see it. But the media here today is a circus. They are, and I saw this quote on Bannon's War Room, so I do want to give...
Okay, so she's there as a street reporter, not as a journalist, not as an analyst. I'm here in the role of analyst for you today. What she's offering is opinion, not fact. I'm offering opinion. It's an informed opinion, and I'm clear about my intent here. This is opinion, live coverage, commentary, and analysis. She's standing on the street, supposedly reporting events. That's a very different situation. Brett Sessom just gave $10. Thanks, Brett. Man. Details about Queen Njinja's rule. She was a slave trader and killed political opponents. Jada Pinkett Smith has glorified her. Oh, you're talking about, yeah. Yeah, no, well, that's true. She's from Angola, of course. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible historical figure. Yet Africans are venerating her as a great leader when she enslaved so many thousands of people, was a brutal killer. And yeah, but then we rip down the statues of Revolutionary War heroes who happened to own slaves at a time when slavery was the law of the land everywhere in the world. Pretty funny. Woke, so dog is Afrikaans. What, John? Oh, wow. Wow, John. Okay. I just want to know when they're going to leak the location of the alien spaceships. Well, there's some retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel apparently knows where the alien ships are, so we're waiting for that. Yeah, it's time for Biden to enjoy his retirement in prison with Jay-Z, man. He and Jacob Zuma. JP Dreckmeyer, I don't think any U.S. administration caused such chaos in the world, war and crime, corruption, misinformation more. As whom, JP? As the Biden administration? Which one are you talking about? Yeah. Johan, well, Christoph Smuts is Afrikaans. Nigel speaks Afrikaans. Robert knows Afrikaans. Lynn Horn knows Afrikaans. Hendo knows Afrikaans. That's his language. Peter say, lots of people know it. Brett Sessoms with another $2. Thanks, Brett. Free blacks own slaves as well. Yes, William Ellenson was one of the largest black slave owners. Yeah, thousands of blacks owned slaves. Yeah, it wasn't about race. People made it into race. It's just convenient for some people. So, Biden Rainbow Circus. Yeah, okay, thank you, JP. You're clear there. I want to make sure I understood where we're going with that. Here's an interesting look from ABC News. Let me show you this one very quickly here, folks. This is interesting. So let me take a look at this. I'll take myself off screen here. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to get it off here. I'll show you how big the crowd is here. Sorry, folks. There we go. There it is. Rolf Corver, thank you for the 200 Rand super chat. Appreciate that. There you go. That one's from ABC. Let me turn off my screen. And you can see the huge crowd of people out there just hanging out. Johan. Oh, okay. Well, I just saw something here. Okay. Matthew's lying. He's saying, "Ek kan nie Afrikaans praat nie." That's not true. Obviously, you can't. So there you go. Welcome back. So, Johan, okay. Who else we got here? 41 likes. Okay, that's cool. But no action taking place here at the moment, folks. We're waiting. It's supposed to be 3 p.m. The last time the arraignment for Donald Trump took place in Manhattan, that was right on the money. It was only a few minutes behind. So we'll see what happens here. But Trump is supposed to be at the Miami federal courthouse at 3 p.m. It's now 3:08, and we see nothing. Nothing. Anyway, so thank you for the stripper chat there, Rolf Corver. Appreciate that. Antoinette. Look at all these people speaking Afrikaans now. The new pride flag, look, only in the shape of putting the V thing in there. That's interesting. But yeah, it's I get your point. But Trump is not at the courthouse to our knowledge yet. Of course, the Secret Service will be with him, so we'll wait and see. Lots of people out there, genuine journalists and sideline amateur journalists as well, trying to report on what's going on. So, the truth about January 6th protests revealed in new video footage. What's this? All right. John Hing is here. See, John also knows Afrikaans. Ek praat nie Afrikaans nie. All right, so cool. All right, so I noticed that some people were flashing little hearts up earlier on the stream. Thank you for that. And you can do that now on YouTube. It's like Periscope. They're desperate to retain attention here on the platform. So let me get back to the indictment that we were talking about while we wait. So all these organizations that now they're detailing this to make it look like Donald Trump compromised information that he probably shouldn't have had, but that's simply not the case, folks. Donald Trump retained classified documents, according to them, from multiple United States intelligence community members and other executive branch departments. Well, the Central Intelligence Agency works for the president, the DoD, the National Security Agency, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, Department of Energy, and the Department of State and its Bureau of Intelligence and Research, INR, all work for the President of the United States. So that's just nonsense. He made public statements. So they're going to try to use Trump's public statements before he was even president as a private citizen as prima facie evidence that he committed a crime. No, they're just trying to form a narrative to show that Trump is a hypocrite. And he may very well be a hypocrite, but that is not. Courts Verhoeven says 44 people. No, 2.8 million white South Africans, 6 to 8 million black colored South Africans, 600,000 black South Africans, and about 197,000 Indian South Africans all speak Afrikaans as a first language. Over 12 million South Africans speak Afrikaans as a first language. over 15 million, 16 million, well, probably 20, 30 million South Africans know Afrikaans to some degree. Additionally, there are a few million Afrikaans speakers living abroad in Namibia, Botswana, Swaziland, Zambia, Zimbabwe, the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, among other places. Lots of Afrikaans speakers out there. On August 18, 2016, Trump stated, in my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law. Yet he failed to prosecute Hillary Clinton for her crimes. On September 6th, 2016, Trump said, we need to fight this battle by collecting intelligence and then protecting our classified secrets. We can't have some of the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of word confidential and classified. True. September 7th, one of the first things we must do is enforce all classification rules. And September 19th, we also need best protection of classified information. November 3rd, 2016, service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country. Yeah, well, that's all true. That's all true. It's also not germane to the indictment. They're just trying to, that's not what goes in an indictment. That's what goes into a trial. You introduce that as evidence to show the character of the person, but that's not part of an indictment. It has nothing to do with an indictment. You don't bring charges based on what he said as a private citizen, which is not a violation of law. It's free speech. That is ridiculous. This is a silly indictment from that standpoint. Silly indictment. As is the insulting portion of telling the court what classified information is and who the actors are. State your case. Don't embellish. Lots of embellishment going on here. That's when it's knee spoofed and then maybe whereabouts? Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, or Windhoek. Kingfish doesn't speak Afrikaans, I live it. As he says in English. Interesting. So, what else we got here? Hello, mates. Dis daarom lekker te luisteren naar onze problemen. Dit is soos kakhuis en laboratorium. Gosh, Peter, stop. Okay, I pulled that trick on a Dutch girl, but I didn't use the word nonsense. Boy, did I get a dirty look. That was in the 70s. Thought I would get slapped, says Nigel. Hey, Myra, how's it going? So we're still waiting for any activity here, folks. I'll tell you what, he needs to show up the courtroom because I can't stay here forever. Tonight, I'm headed to the Giants Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania for the Calder Cup Finals, where the Hershey Bears are trailing 2-0 after abysmal performances out in Palm Springs, where they lost to Coachella Firebirds 5-0 and 4-0. Terrible performance, and they're playing tonight. I managed to score tickets for just $15, of course, with the fees and everything, and the parking makes it more like $35. I got to pay for a $15 ticket, but hey, only 44 Afrikaans speakers. Who's Charlene? You mean? Okay, you're talking about what's her name? Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron. Thoughts on Springboks Nike trainers? I haven't seen them, Mr. Lefty 27. My thoughts on the team selection leaves a little bit to be desired. Oh, Kurtz says Afrikaans is his second language. He speaks a little bit of Zulu. I don't know any Zulu other than Sawubona, and I've never claimed anything to the contrary. Well, Johan Mostart, thank you for joining us. Sorry to see you go, but have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We have a John Mostart who joins us, so... And of course, we have a Springbok who's a Mostart. All right, so a surname I hadn't seen much before South African dealings. So is transconservative waifu still here, or did transconservative leave? And thanks for the super chats, folks. This channel is a bit light on revenue because I haven't reinstated the memberships yet. I'm going to work on that, try to get the memberships going. Let's see. For those who don't know, you're new to this channel, perhaps there might be some of you out there. This channel, which is monetized, had a following with about 23,000 subscribers when I was sent to the gulag illegitimately for breaking rules. Okay, TCW is still there. Good, just checking on you. Yeah, so I was sent to the dustbin of history, and for 23 months could not broadcast on this channel. Just took it away from me. So we've not made much revenue. In fact, I think the revenue we just made is more than the entire month's revenue. We made just $10 off the channel until today, so thank you for that. Busy writing the background. Okay, cool. That's cool. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, I made 39 cents off of ad revenue this month. Just thought I'd share that with you. 39 cents. I don't advertise most things. And the channel keeps taking a hit as YouTube keeps taking away subscribers, which sucks, but that's the life we're living. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in, everybody here. We're waiting for Donald Trump to make an appearance at the courthouse, and still nothing going on. Here's another view of Miami from ABC News. There you go. You can see above. That's where the courthouse is, and you can see the protesters aren't very obvious from that as they zoom in. So I'm not really sure what we're looking at here. Let's listen in.
David, in that overflow room where the reporters were seated, there was a camera pointed directly on the former president's face as these proceedings got underway. And I do just want to take a minute to sort of describe his face to you. He had a frown on his face. He was slumped over in his chair. He at times had his arms in his lap. And it was not until the judge asked to arraign the former president that he actually sat up a bit. He crossed his arms. But David, his body language really told the story here of how the former president felt inside of that courtroom as he was arraigned, of course, not entering the plea on his own. He was actually looking down at the floor for most of the hearing. And I will also note, and this was something we spoke about last time as the former president was arraigned in New York, what was so striking here, David, was that the former president was actually brought into that courtroom early. You'll note it was about 2:45 that the feed came up and the former president was already seated at the defendant's table. His co-defendant, Walt Nauta, was already seated next to him.
Wow.
Counsel Jack
Okay,
Smith was
so they
already
got it
seated
one
in the
over on
courtroom
us.
just over the former president's shoulder. And the former president, David, had to sit and wait for over 10 minutes until that hearing got underway. And he was forced to just sit
Wow.
there, David, to wait for the judge to enter as a defendant in that.
Wow. So it actually started early. He was in there before the top of the hour, and I guess it's still going on at this hour, or is he done and is he out? But we haven't seen any motorcades come out. Not really sure what's going on here. ABC News, Right Side Broadcasting. The man we are abusing, look abused. Yeah, exactly. So what exactly do you expect Donald Trump to look like? A happy camper because you're persecuting him? These fictitious, felonious, ridiculous charges keep coming up against Donald Trump. What exactly do these people expect? It's just plain silly, folks. Just plain silly. I really don't get what these people think is supposed to happen here. It's comical to say the very least. Would you expect Trump to come in and be all braggadocio? Because then that'll just be used against him. If Trump came in and go, ha ha, like this, all full of braggadocio and, and boldness, then people would have simply, attacked him for, I guess maybe it's over here. Let's see what's going on Right Side Broadcasting. Let's take a look at that, folks. That's Big Nothing Burger, unlike the Manhattan one when we saw the long convoy of him coming in and out. I guess they learned something from that mistake. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So, this is Right Side Broadcasting.
President Trump is in the courthouse right now with his attorneys in front of a judge. We have helicopters flying over, so protection from the air, protection from the ground, snipers on the building. I don't know if we were able to get snipers on the building. So they're looking down. They've had binoculars. And so it's just been very secure here. I know there's been a lot of worry, Christina, about what type.
So snipers on the building. There you go. There's a spotter up there. You can see very poorly. What do you expect? Secret Service. This is the President of the United States. This happens everywhere the guy goes. This isn't new. Kingfish says, I like trains. No. The line is, I hate trains. Don't be ridiculous. No, you don't. No, I like trains. Brian Lawrenson, welcome to you. How you doing there? Export Grade USA. Yeah, so Blacks for Trump 2020. That dude still got his shirt. Yeah, big crowd. Looks like it's warm down there in Miami. People drinking lots of fluids to stay hydrated. All the citizen, what's this lady saying something? Let's see what she's got to say.
See a lot of different supporters out here of all races, of all ethnicities, quite honestly, largely Hispanic community in South Florida. And there's nothing. The most aggressive thing that we saw right as we came back from being live was the guy following the liberal around with the bullhorn saying that Joe Biden was a pedophile. Like, that was the most aggressive thing I saw all day, and it was just kind of like annoying and stupid.
Yes, it was. And so that's it. I mean, it's been very peaceful. It's always peaceful. That's just a Trump event. You never have to worry when you're coming to one of these things.
I keep checking my phone to see if we've gotten word if the arraignment's over or not. Not yet. It's still going on, so I would expect probably 10, 15 more minutes. Hopefully it's a short one. And then he'll leave and we fight another day. We keep going. And Donald Trump has said he will not give up. He will not surrender. He is in this to save this country, and I cannot wait to hear his speech tonight at 8:15 in New Jersey when he gets home.
Jeez.
I'll
be at the hockey game
with his friends and his crowd, and I think it will be true Trump fashion.
Absolutely. And,
I'm considering not going to the hockey game tonight now, folks, because Trump's going to be on and Vegas will be on, and I'm going to miss both of those things. Man, oh man, oh man. But I tell you what, I can't cover Trump live on YouTube because who knows what he'll say. He's a wild card, and I'll get censored and my channel will be taken down again. Why is she saying sniper? He's not just Overwatch. Well, I don't see any rifle, so I see a spotter. That's what I see. So I don't know what these people, she's look at her. You think she served? You think she knows what a sniper is? Maybe she did. Maybe she did. But I never saw anybody in uniform look like that, dressed like that. Anyway, good to know that Kingfish likes trains. I hate trains. Yes, Brian, it is a witch hunt once again. That's an odd outfit that lady's wearing. It's like harkens. She looks like Florence Henderson in 1970s. Peter Peterson's back. Okay. Yeah, so let's get back to the indictment. We'll take a look at more of this indictment stuff that's going on here. There we go. Ooh, there's Pikes Peak again. Isn't that lovely? Lovely shot there. That was from my trip out there 2 years ago, folks. Yeah, it's when I came back and I was a little ill after that. It wasn't the spicy cough, though, but I did get ill. Whoops, that's not the right one. That's the right one. There we go. All right, let's get back to the... here we go. Back to the indictment and see what else they have to say in this indictment. So apparently the arraignment continues at this hour, 3:23 now. That's not surprising. Hopefully we'll see when Trump comes out, and we'll go from there, and we'll cover it. MI35I asked the question that no one has ever had the courage to ask trans conservative waifu. I've never seen anybody ever ask anyone if trans conservative waifu is actually transgender. That's interesting. Interesting. I figured it was none of my business, so I never asked. Yeah, she looks like a nurse from 1970s. So, as president in 2018 issued the following statement, it said the executive branch, I have a unique constitutional responsibility to protect the nation's classified information, yada, yada, yada. So they're using his statements against him now when he's president. In January 2020, he was preparing to leave the White House. Trump and his White House staff, including Nauta, that's the co-defendant, packed items, including some of Trump's boxes. Trump was personally involved in the process. Trump caused his boxes containing hundreds of classified documents to be transported from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. From January through March, some of Trump's boxes were stored in the Mar-a-Lago white and gold ballroom in which events and gatherings took place. Trump's boxes were, for a time, stacked in the ballroom stage as depicted in the photograph. Now, that's interesting. So, in that photograph, someone at the White House took a picture of that? Or someone in Mar-a-Lago took a picture of that? Interesting. In March 2021, Nauta and others moved some of Trump's boxes from the white and gold ballroom to the business center at Mar-a-Lago. On April 5th, an employee of the office of Donald Trump texted another employee to ask whether the boxes could be moved out of the business center to make room for staff to use for the office. Trump replied, "Whoa, okay." So POTUS specifically asked Walt for those boxes to be in the business center because they're his papers. Later that day, Trump and an employee exchanged the following messages. Okay, so far, I'm not seeing a smoking gun here. So they're talking about Trump tried to move. Now, we got to get further into the indictment. Trump tried to hide documents. He moved them to the business center because he said they were his papers. Well, if he declassified them, then they were his papers under the Presidential Records Act. So what's the beef? What's the beef? Let's go. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's something to it. So we can definitely make it work if we move his papers into the lake room. There's still a little room in the shower where his other stuff is. Is it only his papers he cares about? There's some other stuff in there, not papers. Could that go in storage? Yes, anything that's not the beautiful Mind paper boxes can definitely go to storage. Want to take a look at the space and start moving tomorrow morning. Oh my God. Trump tried to hide classified documents from the archives by moving them from the ballroom. Oh, sounds like a space issue to me. Not an intentional hiding of documents. After the text exchange between Trump employee 1 and 2 in April, some of Trump's boxes were moved from the business center to the bathroom and shower, as depicted in the photograph below. Looky there. In May 2021, Trump directed the storage room of the ground floor of Mar-a-Lago be cleaned out so it could be used to store his boxes. The hallway leading the storage room could be reached multiple outside entrances. On June 24, 2021, the boxes were in the lake room, were moved to the storage room. After that, there are more than 80 boxes in storage room, as depicted in the photographs below. Okay, well, I'm still waiting for that smoking gun. On December 7th, 21, NAUDA found several of Trump's boxes fallen and their contents spilled on the floor, including a document marked Secret Rel USA 5 Eyes, which denoted the information, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so he texted Trump employee, I opened the door and found this. Trump employee said, oh, no, I'm sorry, POTUS had my phone. Depicted the visible classified redacted Trump's unlawful retention documents charged in count 8 of this indictment. Okay, first off, the fact that a document is marked secret doesn't mean it is secret. If Trump declassified, it's declassified. It's pretty simple, folks. So they haven't proven their case. Anyway, but smoking guns, Trump moved documents to hide it from the government. Woo! So far, waiting for it. But it's just a question. If we had to meet in person, we wouldn't need to ask questions. It would just be known. Huh? Maybe MI35I is somebody that I know. That's what that point was. Or is that for trans-conservative waifu? Okay. Rowan Grierson says, what about Biden's garage, a Corvette? Well, yeah, there's no mention of it. You mean by me? I've talked about it already, Rowan. You're just tuning in now. I've talked about it several times. And then one of my viewers said, well, I don't care about whataboutism. I said, it's not whataboutism. As a former federal law enforcement official, as a counterintelligence agent, U.S. Army, specifically charged and badged and credentialed to investigate these activities, these crimes, specifically by service members and Department of Defense employees and foreign adversaries against the United States, I take this quite seriously. And I have never rescinded my position that Hillary Clinton, by her own admission, violated the Espionage Act on multiple occasions and should have been subject to as much as 30 to 50 years in a federal penitentiary. Case closed. No change there. Sandy Berger, a former national security advisor in the Clinton administration, repeatedly went into the National Archives in D.C. and stole classified documents related to Clinton administration crimes to cover up their inept foreign policy. He was finally caught with classified information stuffed into his sock by an alert guard, and he was given a slap on the hand. Mike Pence had classified information stored in his residence, in his library. Case dismissed. Joe Biden stole classified information over the years repeatedly, over at least a decade period, storing the information openly in an office building frequented by Chinese spies in Washington, D.C., in a so-called think tank. Additionally, classified documents were found in his garage, stored next to his Corvette, and another undisclosed location by the federal government as part of its cover-up in the Biden crime family. So, Mike Pence, Hillary Clinton, Sandy Berger, and Joe Biden. Not a single one of those people had declassification authority for any documents that they had in their possession. Additionally, for Joe Biden, I will share with you that one of my colleagues who I broadcast with was on the vice president's detail. Biden repeatedly, habitually took classified documents with him, not stored properly, no courier orders for him to do it, carried them on the Acela train from D.C. to Delaware for his weekends, opening up the classified documents and reading them and laying them down in the train compartment on the Acela train in plain view of other citizens. When admonished by his military and civilian staff, Biden would say, oh, that's not a problem. These are my people. They're not at any risk. Joe Biden's disdain for classified information protects America's secrets is well known. It's not a secret. The fact that he has not been prosecuted for it shows you the culpability of the Department of Justice. Let's take a look and see if anything's happening now. Nope, still nothing. Still nothing. Let me check with ABC, see what they've got. Nope, still nothing happening, folks. Just got talking heads trying to tell people what's going on. They don't know what's going on. All right, so yeah, I've talked about this endlessly. I didn't take that as an attack on me there. Who was that, Roan? Asked me that question, but I've been talking about it endlessly. All right, so Asinzil is here. Just know that when a president goes through an official prosody class, it is for those who are not the president and not for the president does not need to. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. There's Roan Grant Grierson. So did I answer the question, Roan? I've talked about it. So maybe it's not my business. Okay. All right, sorry. How many of the photos were staged? They're all staged. I mean, you're going to tell me that somebody took a photograph of those boxes sitting on that stage, knowing they had classified documents, or just took the picture for posterity's sake of boxes sitting on the stage? Who does that? unless, you're responsible for the facility and you're upset about it. Now, I've taken pictures of a leaky broom closet where someone didn't fix the leak in the VFW post. I've taken pictures of that so we can show it to a plumber, so we have it for record for an insurance claim. But who takes pictures of boxes lying around unless you're trying to admonish somebody? It doesn't make any sense. These are all staged photographs. All right, so Drunken Yoda's here. No worries, says Roan. Cool, thank you. If the nuclear codes were leaked, could the U.S. nukes be used in America? No, they could not. There are safeguards in place. They're not going to take down Air Force One or board it and take it over like a certain Hollywood actor. Doesn't work that way, folks. Doesn't work that way. So more on this. Let me just double check, make sure there's nothing happening. Nope, nothing happening yet. Yeah, so this is a long hearing. It's 31 minutes already. We've been at this for an hour. Thank you for tuning in, folks. On July 21st of 2021, when he was no longer president, Trump gave an interview in his office, the Bedminster Club, to a writer and publisher in connection. Now, this is the claim they made earlier, with a forthcoming book. 2 members of Trump's staff attended the interview, which was recorded in Trump's knowledge and consent. Before it, the media published reports that at the end of Trump's term as president, senior military official purportedly feared that Trump might be ordering an attack on country A, that senior military official Trump advised Trump against doing it. What we're talking about here is that General Milley came up with a plan to attack Iran and showed it to Trump, and Trump didn't do it. And then when Trump was angry about something Iran did, Milley said, you're gonna lead to a war. So a whole strange situation here. So, upon greeting the writer, publisher, and his 2 staff members, Trump stated, "Look what I found. This was the senior military official's plan of attack. Read it and just show." It's interesting. Later in the interview, Trump engaged in the following exchange. Well, the senior military official, Mark Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look, this was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. Wow. This is Department of Defense. Writer said, wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. Pages long. Wait a minute. Let's see here. I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, except that it's like highly confidential. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack, and by the way, isn't that incredible? I was just thinking, anyway, so that's a very damning one. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was just bragging and he'd already declassified the stuff. Who knows? But yeah, there you go. So that's the only thing so far in this indictment that I found remotely incriminating is right there. That's incriminating, depending on the context. We don't know what happened, but that is potentially incriminating. Exactly, Slippery Pickle. That's Trump. I have the best documents, the most classified, the top secret important documents, the super duper secret that no one else has. No one else has ever read them. Only I, Donald Trump, have them. That sounds exactly like Trump. Yep. Country will stop falling apart. Nancy Lee should be behind bars where they belong. Well, that needs to happen. Nothing claps like a PK. Yikes. Gus, welcome to you. Good to see you join us here. I have I have the very best top secret documents. Nobody else has these. These are amazing documents. I've had them in my possession forever. I've had these top secret documents since I was on The Apprentice. If you know something is classified, the big ass word classified, and take a picture of, people have been convicted of simply reading much less. Exactly. On a serious note, I don't understand why someone would keep classified documents for personal memoirs. It seems to become practice, but not just Trump. Well, I'll tell you why, Peter Peterson, why Donald Trump kept that document. Because Donald Trump didn't trust the deep state operators around him like General Milley and others. And the truth came out. General Milley gave an interview in which he claimed that Donald Trump nearly put us in a war with Iran. But according to Trump, according to the so-called classified document that he's showing off to people that suppose was already declassified, it's a war plan developed by the Department of Defense that Milley brought to Trump to try to get Trump to take action against Iran in a previous instance. Then Milley went to the press and gave an interview and said Trump nearly took us to war. So, of course, Trump kept it. Otherwise, how is he going to refute it? I'm not condoning it. I'm not justifying it. I'm just telling you why he did it. I understand the mindset of Donald Trump. People all around him are liars and cheats and scoundrels. And so he's covering his ass. That's what that was all about. I guarantee that's the reason. The other reason he kept these documents wasn't, this is the bottom line here. This is the bottom. I said this at the time and I say it now. What happened was the Trump administration was in chaos. After the events of November 2020, they were in chaos. People were telling him to not leave office. People were telling him to declare martial law. People were telling him to accept the defeat. They focused on all that nonsense. On the 6th of January, the administration was still focused on events from November when they should have been doing transition. And I guarantee you what happened. The White House, the West Wing, nobody took any action. Nobody prepped for transition. Nobody prepped for leaving the White House. So on the weekend before they had to go, someone got the order. Now there's somebody we got to get out of here. Get everything out before the next team comes in. So they just boxed everything up that wasn't already boxed, loaded it on Air Force One and flew it to Mar-a-Lago. Case closed. Doesn't justify it, doesn't make it right, doesn't diminish it. But this information wasn't put in an unclassified server where Chinese, Russian, Romanian, German, North Korean intelligence services could spy on it, like Hillary Clinton did. So the damage that it causes. Now see, a top secret document, a sensitive compartment information document, and a special access program, which is even more restricted than that, those things can cause grievous damage to U.S. national security. But only if they're compromised. Mishandling of information is not espionage. Incorrectly storing information is not espionage. It's an offense, but it's not espionage. What is the standard of academic reference method for military research dissertations? I don't know what you mean by that. Whose military research? Are you talking about by, for instance, the only military institutions that grant postgraduate degrees are the war colleges? Is that what you're referring to? Each of them has a different standard, and not all of them require a thesis. So, still nothing happening down there in Florida, folks. I'm just looking around. They're still just hanging around, waiting for something to happen. Still nothing. So Trump is still in the courtroom, apparently. Got in there earlier. So I'm happy to answer the question there, Kingfish, but I don't understand the reference point. What do you mean by your point? Didn't trust the deep state. That's the key to this whole thing. Exactly, Nigel. That is exactly the key to it. Also, there's a degree of hubris. Even if Trump trusted those people, right? Because of the chaos at the end of the administration, this is likely to have happened accidentally. That's the second thing. Third thing, because of Trump's ego and his arrogance, he likely would have retained stuff just because, for a book or for whatever. Also be remembered. Who's Shadowley? But also for being a good president, causing big political stir. Oh, he'll be remembered for that. He's an incredibly successful president. Donald Trump is the single most successful one-term president in the history of the United States. There's no doubt about that. Anybody that's objective will admit that. The meme war of 2016 will also be remembered. Yeah, perhaps. As will the summer of love in 2020. Trump did trust the wrong people. That's absolutely true. Yep, absolutely true. Hey, Arctic, what's going on? What's going on? Nothing happening right now outside the courthouse in Miami. What is this guy doing? Oh, he's on crutches or something. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Somebody helping him up. It's not nearly as big a crowd as I thought it might be there in Miami. I'd say there's several hundred people there, but I mean, not thousands. Who will die for communism? Not me. Trump's tweets will also, yeah, his tweets will be remembered, but you know, maybe one day we'll find out Trump didn't even do them. He had a person doing them for him, which is what I've always argued. Fiona says, what's your opinion of Chris Christie? I have no use for Chris Christie. He's a slimy swamp creature who claims to have been a successful governor of New Jersey, and he wasn't. He's a very vile person, and he is nothing but greedy for political power. That's my view of Chris Christie. Whereas DeSantis is actually accomplishing things in Florida and making progress and has genuine conservative bona fides, I don't see what Chris Christie's bona fides are as a conservative. Yep. My cause everyone was making families. What's that? The Summer of Love. No, it was the Summer of Love because our cities were looted and burned by arsonists, insurrectionists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, people who murdered a few dozen Americans, burned our cities, destroyed over $3 billion worth of damage caused by these clowns. That's the Summer of Love, 2020. And this insurrection took place in America. Yep. They're pissed at him. Yep. It's just a witch hunt against him. Exactly, Nigel. That's exactly what it is. So, Kingfish, I answer the question best I could. If you give me some more clarity on what you're looking for, I can help you. Military research dissertations. I mean, lots of people do research on the military, and a dissertation for a PhD at Columbia, at Leicester, at Leeds, wherever. University of Mainz. So anyway. You're laughing. Okay. Yeah, that's why I called it the summer. It's funny because, it's very funny. Look, I mean, I'm not going to claim I'm the most original person. I've never claimed that. But so many things I've said wind up in the vernacular. And I said them before I heard anyone say it. The Summer of Love. That summer, I called it the Summer of Love, 2020. Now everybody's saying it. The Uniparty. Not exactly original, but I came up with that description for the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans years ago. Now I hear everybody saying it. Everybody saying it. And the more I said it in my broadcast, so it always makes me wonder about how YouTube suppresses the viewership. It's a lot more people are listening. And there's many, many other things, that, little terms I've used that people picked up. Now, when I get a term from someone else, if I know where it came from, I credit it. I give credit where credit's due. I don't know what's going to happen with Kamala Harris. That's not a winning ticket. They'd be smart to dump her. Trump will always be Antoinette's favorite American president. Well, I can understand that. Still nothing happening. Let's go back to the indictment. I'm trying to make sure we don't miss when Trump comes out. So, back to the writer. At the time of this exchange, the publisher, the writer, and Trump's two staff members did not have security clearances or any need to know any classified information about a plan of attack on Iran. In August or September 2021, when he's no longer president, Trump met in his office in Bedminster with a representative of the Political Action Committee. During the meeting, Trump commented that an ongoing military operation in Country B was not going well. Trump showed the PAC representative a classified map of Country B and told the PAC representative that he should not be showing the map to the PAC representative and not to get too close. The representative did not have security clearance. In 2017, 4 years before Trump's disclosure, information set forth at the press conference. So once again, they're bringing back what he said years ago, which is not germane. Anyway, so May 2021, the archives demanded that Trump turn over presidential records that he kept after his presidency on multiple occasions, beginning in June. Trump warned. First off, so how does the National Archives know that Donald Trump has classified information? That's the first question. All right. How do they know that? It's not like they're tagged. They have no RFID tags on them. It's not like these documents are accounted for by number. They're not. It's not how it works. It's how it worked 50 years ago. It's not how it works now. Anybody can put these in a copier and scan it or print them off of a printer. So how did the archives even know that he had any classified information? That begs the whole question. What's going on here? And why were they spying on Donald Trump? Why weren't they spying on Joe Biden, who for over a decade stole classified information and stored it in unsecure locations all over the place? It's a place up in the U.S. Pentagon that there still exist patriots who will eventually clean up this mess. Well, there are patriots around here, and one of them is sitting right here in this chair. Yep. Armed forces still have the responsibility to keep the Constitution. Any comments from any U.S. citizens in this channel? Yeah. Well, I'm a U.S. citizen. How much alien info does Trump have? Oh, maybe that's what it is, transconservative waifu. He's got the alien information. That's what it's all about. That's why they're coming for Trump. Still, this hearing is still going on. This is pretty wild. Pretty wild. A lot of cop motorcycles out here, man. A lot of cop motorcycles. Check this out. There you go. Look at that. Look on the right. There's a lot of law enforcement motorcycles there just waiting for this thing to end. He pled not guilty to all 37 charges.
Some headlines for herself because of a ruling in a separate case, but a ruling that was favorable to Donald Trump. And we also know that they could have made the case that this play out in the District of Columbia, that perhaps this was all part of...
No. District of Columbia, they don't want that attention there. They don't want Trump in D.C. That's why it's in Miami. It makes sense. He lives in Florida. So, yeah, and the crimes, if there are crimes, occurred in Florida and D.C., but the data was in Florida. So, yeah. Anyway, so I used to be obsessed with E.T. Really? Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, so nothing happening. It's just Trump supporters being talked to by this woman in this really vomit-inducing dress that she's wearing. I'm sorry, this is just not doing it for me. Check out the dress this lady's wearing. Oof, she's the reporter who's actually making comments down there in Florida. That dress is an assault on the senses. Oof, my goodness. That's an assault on the senses, man. A Trump supporter here.
The girl, that looks beautiful. Yes, but, you know, the thing inside, the people have to live at 90 miles away from here. I mean, close, too close.
I saw on the news this morning and about
Talking about Cuba, that's obviously 90 miles away from Miami is Cuba. Aliens are boring. Look at next-gen fighter and bomber aircraft. Yeah, beachfront dress, that's what that is. That's an assault on the an affront to the senses there. I'm sorry, that dress isn't doing it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, maternity wear. I suppose it could be maternity wear. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, so she's the one who's commenting. And let's get back to the indictment. Okay, that's more interesting than that nonsense. All right. So on November 12th, 2021, Trump employee 2 provided Trump a photograph of boxes by taping it to one of the boxes Trump employee had placed in his residence. Trump provided photographs so that Trump could see how many of the boxes were stored in a storage room. Okay, that's why photos were taken of the boxes. Okay. Then why would Trump retain them if he knew he did something wrong? That's just stupid. The photograph shown below depicted a wall of the storage room against which dozens of boxes Trump stored. Yeah, okay. On November 17th, 2021, Nada texted employee 2 about the photograph. He mentioned about a picture of the boxes. He wants me to see it. Calling you shortly. On November 25th, Trump employee 2 texted Nada about Trump's review of the contents. Has he mentioned boxes to you? I delivered some. I think he may need more. Could you ask if he'd like more in Pine Hall? Pine Hall was the entry room of Trump's residence. Nada replied 365 text with nothing about boxes yet. He has one he's working on in Pine Hall. Knocked out 2 boxes yesterday. On November 29th, Trump employee texted Nada saying, next you are on property. Could you bring me 4 more boxes? Yes, of course. Just checking boxes. Would love to have a number of them today. Nada texted Trump employee about Trump's tracking of boxes. He's tracking the boxes. More to follow. One thing he asked was for new covers for the boxes. Ooh, new covers. Yeah, he's clearly trying to evade the government there. On January 17th, Trump employee loaded the boxes in Nada's car and took them to a commercial truck for delivery. Okay. FBI regarding the location of the boxes. Nada made a false misleading statement as the 4th. Okay, so they claim Nada lied. So let's say it says he gathered the boxes, loaded them into his car, and took them to a commercial truck for delivery to Nara. Okay. All right, so wait a second. So on January 17th of 2022, Nada put boxes on a truck to be shipped to the National Archives. The indictment earlier said that Trump refused to cooperate, and it was in May that Nara demanded documents. Why is Trump sending documents to the National Archives on January 17th of 2022 if he's never been asked for them? And now they're claiming the guy lied about it. When interviewed by the FBI in May of 2022 regarding the location movement of boxes before the production, Nada made false misleading statements, falsely stating that he was not aware that Trump's boxes being brought to Trump's residence for his review. Maybe he forgot. Falsely stating he did not know how the boxes that he and Trump brought from Trump's residence, commercial truck for delivery, had gotten to the residence. Maybe he forgot. When asked whether he knew whether Trump's boxes had been stored before they were in Trump's residence and whether they had been in secure location, Nada falsely responded, I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So they're calling that a lie. They're calling it a lie because he forgot. So it's a crime to forget something. This is an event that occurred over a year prior, and he didn't remember. The 15 boxes Trump provided to the archives in January 2022, they reviewed the contents, determined 14 of the boxes contained documents, classification markings. Doesn't mean they're classified. Classification markings remain on documents that are declassified. Now, they need to be marked properly, but they aren't always. The FBI later determined the boxes contained 197 documents with classification markings, of which 98 were marked secret, 30 were marked top secret, and the remainder were marked confidential. So the way this looks to me is that Donald Trump sent documents to the archives for storage of his own volition. I don't know that to be true, but that's what the narrative they're writing here. And then that was the basis for the archives to claim he had classified information. He gave it to them. There was no subpoena. There was no demand. There was no investigation. There was no visit to Mar-a-Lago. In January 2022, according to their own indictment, Trump sent documents to the archives. And then when they reviewed them, they found there was classified information in them. And that's when the witch hunt started. No, they won't have to disclose the contents. They'll have to have a classified hearing. So they have to have a judge in a court in which only people with classification could see it. So, yeah. So, anyway, let's see what you guys say. That dress looks like maternity wear. Okay. It's brilliant for that. No one will be taking Biden out because of who's next. Yeah, they don't want to take Biden out because they don't want that lunatic in charge. Okay, so still nothing happening, folks. This is a long hearing. Pete Peters says, thanks for replying. I'm trying to understand from a South African perspective. Here we feel the weight of so-called justification history that is causing immense harm and suffering. Black and white and whatever. Yeah, I got you, Pete. Okay, so Kingfish said, meaning what academic standards are used? APA, Harvard, Chicago. It depends on the institution. At the War College, you can use Chicago Manual Style. Is that what you're talking about? APA, yes, those are both acceptable at the War College. And the professors, there's a standard set, but professors can deviate from that if it's something they have a preference for and they work it out with their students. So, yeah. Trump becomes president again. He could help Secret Service out by simply having Marjorie Taylor Greene as VP. I generally think I'm an alien when I watch some humans act. Oh, I understand that. Yep, the orange man thing is a nothing burger. News out here to McCarthy's segment talking about Biden's files in his garage. They said Trump was so reckless he had files in his garage. Meanwhile, it was Biden's garage. Who said that, Chris? Oh, in Australia, that's what they're saying. They said Trump was so reckless it was in a garage. No, it was stored in a building that was, security was provided by the Secret Service. They didn't secure the documents, but they were there protecting the president. So it's far less likely that it would be jeopardized than, say, Joe Biden's garage. But that's not even the worst of it. The garage is one thing. At least that's a property under Joe Biden's control, ostensibly, although Hunter was in that garage. But the think tank in D.C. was open to the public, and Chinese spies were known to have gone in there. Yeah, it's that's pretty egregious. Pretty egregious. Nothing happening still, folks. I'm double checking with the media, looking for coverage. They just keep showing images of the motorcycles out there in the motorcade. Looks like they're on their bikes and getting ready. I wonder if Trump's about to come out.
Here with us as well, and I want to bring in Rachel Scott, who was actually in the courtroom. Again, we've been describing, and this is the challenge in reporting out a federal criminal case with no cameras in the court. But there was the overflow room where several members of our team were watching the camera trained on the former president. And then there was obviously the courtroom itself, a much smaller group of people in that courtroom. We know the former president. We know the special counsel Jack Smith was there. And we know our Rachel Scott was in there, too. So Rachel just
Scott.
describe, if
Let's
you
see what
will,
Rachel Scott's got to
what
say.
you witnessed transpire.
Looks like they're getting ready.
Afternoon.
David, we were taken up to the 13th floor to enter that courtroom. I was part of a small group of initially 20 people, members of the public, as well as reporters, who were allowed to enter the courtroom for such a historic arraignment of the former president. Before the arraignment actually began, former President Donald Trump seated at that defense table, at times appearing restless. He was twiddling his thumbs, his hands were crossed, his shoulders slunched over, his mood stern, at times stoic, but it was clear that he was ready to move forward and to move forward quickly. Walt Nada, the co-defendant in this case, sitting just 2 chairs over. Trump did not utter a word throughout this entire proceeding, but he didn't necessarily have to.
Right.
He appeared restless. Jack Smith, the special counsel, seated just on the other side of the former president in the first row, at times glancing toward him. The former president, from my view, never looked back. The judge asked at the beginning of this if Trump's 2 attorneys were there permanently or temporarily. We know that the former president has been meeting with new attorneys after 2 of his attorneys resigned just
Here we go.
that indictment was unsealed. Jack Smith glancing back at Trump at times, and his lawyer, especially when his lawyer said most certainly Trump pleads not guilty.
All right, here we go, folks. There we go. We got Secret Service vehicles now moving. That's not D.C. That's Miami, presumably. Yeah, Miami-Dade Police. I can see it right there. Yeah, this is Trump coming out now. It looks like he's leaving the courthouse at 3:54, just under an hour in this arraignment taking place at the federal courthouse in Miami. So Trump will be speaking tonight in New Jersey. That should be interesting. But he better get a move on. It's already 4 o'clock. If he's scheduled for 7 o'clock, he's going to have to go right to the airport here, most likely. You can see Secret Service agents out there. They stand out like a sore thumb, walking around with blue and red ties on. The former president, we're waiting for him to come out there. And you won't know which vehicle he's in. Well, here we go. Here we go. We're underway now, folks.
Lawyers pouring through it.
All right, so here goes the convoy, the former president, as the Secret Service provides security for President Trump. I find it comical these people are talking about Donald Trump will go to prison. That's not going to happen. Even if he committed crimes, he's not going to prison. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? This country is not going to put a former president in jail for mishandling classified documents, even if he did do it. That's ludicrous, to say the very least. To say the very least. So here we go. Look at the throng. Now, here's a lot more people. We weren't seeing those earlier. Yeah, we weren't seeing those people earlier because they were all covered up by, let me see a second here if we can get the other one. No, these idiots still aren't covering it. So, yeah, the right side broadcasting is not in the right place. We can see them leaving now. He departs it. He pled not guilty to all 37 charges of mishandling or storing inappropriately classified information. So, yeah. Yeah, so here, let me move up there. There we go. Look at all those people running as secret service running alongside the convoy as it pulls away from the Miami-Dade courthouse. This is very high-level security. This is what presidents and former presidents get. Yep. You can see the streets are clear. There is no traffic there. Unlike the idiots in New York who let people on the expressway and endangered the life of the President of the United States. Remember that? I talked about that when the Manhattan indictment bullshit took place, how they had the roads. See the roads blocked? There's barriers up there. Jersey barriers raised so people can't get through there. This route is clear to ensure that there's protection for the president, something that wasn't done in New York, the abysmal, disgraceful things that happened in New York. And that was not covered by any media outlet or any journalist. I was the only person in the world, to my knowledge, who commented on that conduct that took place. I guess we've lost the camera there. I guess they ran out of power for the drone. So let's turn that off and let's get back to the other one here. If they got something, no, they're still outside the courtroom. So that's it. Donald Trump has left the courtroom. Oh, here we go. Look at the traffic here. Now they're back. There you go. So look at this traffic, folks, as that's all backed up on the overpass as the Trump team travels underneath. Look at that. You can see law enforcement underneath that overpass. Traffic blocked, shut down completely. That's how things are supposed to be done. No one can move there. And we see unobstructed movement, unlike what happened in New York on the expressway when the officials in New York put the life of the former president in jeopardy with their reckless conduct in their effort to get themselves a photo opportunity. Alvin Bragg, a slimy piece of feces, if ever there was one, and the New York authorities not taking care of responsibility for the former president. Here we see the entire highway backed up, and this is what happens for former presidents and sitting presidents. This is what they get. You think Donald Trump is going to jail? You're delusional. Not going to happen. Now, entering the highway, when you'll see that police officer in the top there on a motorcycle leading that first cruiser, and eventually that on-ramp will merge with that traffic that's to the left-hand side in the center of the view. And then if we stick with this view long enough from the helicopter, we will see them emerge with no traffic moving. There's a few, obviously at least a few miles of traffic backed up there pretty soon. Here we go. Now we're merging, and you see the police officer have stopped the traffic. That's how it's supposed to be done. The president will now make his way out to the airport unobstructed by clueless losers in the state of New York who endanger the life of a former president because they're ludicrous asswipes. Now we can see the proper way this is done here in Florida as that motorcade continues on that expressway, going to head out, and look at all those people in that overpass who are stopped and cannot move because that road is going to merge with that overpass coming up. So give it a moment here. The cameras come back and let it as it goes. They're re-showing what just happened. I don't know why they're doing that. There we go. So now we can see the convoy making its way out to join the expressway. And you can see all that traffic backed up down there, including a police cruiser. I can see police officers on that far bridge on the other side of the river. Here they come as Donald Trump exits the Miami-Dade area heading over to the airport, presumably.
And we started seeing him look at the former president. And then at the end, when the judge allowed everyone to leave, that's when we did see Jack Smith.
There you can see it right there, folks. Notice how both lanes of traffic are shut down and allow the former president's motorcade to continue unmolested in what should have been done in New York, but was not done in New York. Remember that, the very disgraceful behavior by law enforcement and by the prosecutors in New York, endangering the life of former President Donald Trump. You can see law enforcement ensuring that no one is traveling on that route so the president can get out of Miami-Dade area safely. Arctic says, looks like standard Florida traffic. Big gamble for the Democrats. This is more than enough time to finish these cases before elections. Yes, it is, but they're holding the trials after primaries so they can interfere with the events of 2024. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching live footage from overhead camera of the motorcade. Look at the motorcycle zipping along up there of President Donald John Trump moving through Miami. Look at that cargo ship being drugged through a canal down there. But in a spy movie, that would have been the ship where whoever tried to kill the president would jump onto that ship to escape. A la Lethal Weapon. Or not Lethal Weapon. What's the one with John McClane? Yikes. And you can see there's no one moving on that route except for security officials. The police zipping up in motorcycles, and then motorcade with Secret Service armored vehicles there. You can see them moving along. Yeah, the sniper would be on the ship, Carl. That would be it. Exactly right. That's how it would be in a spy movie. Yeah. What's the John McClane movies, man? I'm drawing a blank on that right now. Oh, Die Hard. Yeah, Die Hard. Yeah. Come out to the coast. Have a good time for Christmas. Yeah, look at that road. Completely empty, devoid of traffic except for the motorcade in which we find President Donald John Trump. Imagine his thoughts going through his mind right now. I gave my life and sacrificed my vast fortune to protect this country and restore it to greatness. Accepted no salary, donated my entire salary to charity, and this is how I'm rewarded. Can you imagine? Donald John Trump. That's right, Arctic. No potholes, no messes on our highways. Of course, that's lied about by the Biden administration, Democrats in Congress telling us they're fixing our infrastructure. What infrastructure are they fixing? The infrastructure is fine. All right, it's back now. Okay, there we go. The infrastructure is fine. Yes, there are, in a country with millions of miles of paved roads, you're going to have problems. It's a constant 365-day a year, every day of the year forever. Look at that crowd of traffic down there as he comes off. They're all blocked from going anywhere now. You're always going to have infrastructure needs repaired or replaced. There is a definitive amount of time that infrastructure lasts. It doesn't last forever. And that is the truth of the matter. But they don't want to tell you that. They would have lied and say their infrastructure is collapsing, which is just total nonsense. Oh, here we stay over here. All right, so you see all the traffic snarl. They're all being held up as Donald Trump heads out of the city of Miami. And to be a security official or involved in this motorcade would be something. It would be an honor, a privilege to do something like this, as opposed to escorting diaper-wearing Joe Biden from place to place so he can grift more money from Ukrainians or the Chinese. Is it true that Donald Trump only took a salary of... No, he took zero, John. He took zero. His $400,000 annual salary all 4 years was donated. Now, apparently he's not allowed to just give it to charity, but he can donate it back to the federal budget, and he decided which departments would receive that. It went back, I think, at least 1 or 2 of the years it went to support veterans, if I'm not mistaken, the Veterans Administration. But Donald Trump received no salary. Jared Kushner received no salary for the services he provided to the American people in negotiating the Abraham Accords. The only benefits Jared Kushner and his wife got was transport and security. That's about it. They received no money, despite the lies about how they made money off the time they weren't in the White House. Yeah, the lies spread about the Trump entourage are just epic. They're unbelievable. This is true. Yeah, so I bet they still have hijacking like we do in Miami. Well, not as bad as Pinetown. Yeah, there's carjacking of the world over. I mean, people get their cars jacked in the States. It's just not as endemic. It's not as a pandemic like it is in South Africa. Here you can see a cop on a motorcycle stop that traffic. And here, as they move along, in Miami. So as I said, I presume they're headed back to the Miami International Airport, and Trump will probably get on a plane and fly straight to New Jersey if in fact he's giving a speech there tonight, as that one lady said. That's news to me. I didn't know that he was going there. Holy moly, I'll be stuck trying to find the exit on those roads for months. Yeah, no, the roads are pretty complicated. It's a pretty intense. Imagine this entire route, folks, had to be screened. You see all their place they're driving, all those buildings had to be checked. There's a Walgreens. They're passing a Walgreens right now. Everything on the route had to be checked. They can't simply, just go out and drive a route. This is all choreographed ahead of time. That's why they can't just do it like that. It all has to be planned and choreographed by the Secret Service. That's their mission. That's their responsibility. Secret Service has allowed too many presidents to be shot or killed, and their job is to protect the president and former presidents. So there you go. So as they continue on, I love that cruiser there, the Miami-Dade cruiser up front there, man. This, I keep waiting for, Olympus Has Fallen, with Gerard Butler, that sort of thing to happen, right? Like the bridge to blow up or something like that. Yikes. You need to tell South African government this everything requires maintenance. Exactly, Kurtz. We need to tell all African governments that. It's Africa's philosophy is build it and forget about it. Moan and whine about colonialism and racism to get the guilty Europeans and Americans to build your infrastructure and then never maintain it. Suck every ounce of money you can out of it corruptly for the 5, 10, 15, or 20 years it lasts. Watch it collapse and then cry racism, colonialism again, and how you've been neglected and how it's unfair and how the world's economic system needs to be turned around so that people of color can come out ahead because they've been taken advantage of. That's how it works, folks. Don't you know that? Olympus Has Fallen. Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, that's how it works. Antoinette, sorry to see you leave. We're going to stick with this a little bit longer here. We've been at this for an hour and a half. We'll stay a little bit longer. Stuck trying to... Yeah, Tracy, look at this route. I mean, this is a very complicated route. You can guess which car Trump is in, and you might be right. But one thing's for certain. This is a very choreographed security operation. Look, I've been involved in this sort of stuff, the planning of this when President Bush visited Liberia. And I can tell you, it's not a simple task. In Monrovia, the entire route was shut down until Bush left town. From that morning all day long. And coincidentally, just by happenstance, the Chinese using World Bank money had just finished resurfacing the major roads in Monrovia. And in the next week, that's when Bush came to visit Monrovia, which was planned for months, by the way. We weren't even sure the Chinese were going to finish, which was a problem. Bush's helicopters flew from the airport at Roberts International Airport into Spriggs Payne Airport in Monrovia because it couldn't handle his planes, Air Force One, all the others that fly along with it. But the helicopters flew from the plane to the Spriggs Airport so it could take him back and forth to the airport so he didn't have to go on that bumpy road. I had the unique situation where I had to go from the embassy down to Spriggs Payne Airport while hundreds of thousands of Liberians lined the streets to cheer George Bush on. And as I rode through town, I turned on my lights because I had lights on my truck. I never really did that. And then people were waving. They were trying to get attention, so I played the siren a few times, and it was an amazing experience going to the airport, Spriggs Payne Airport. Unbelievable experience. Look at these. That's why there's so many cops on motorcycles. There's so many intersections here on this route. This is crazy. I mean, this is even more convoluted route than Trump had getting out of New York. Look at all the people gathered out in the street to see him. Or are they protesters? I can't tell which is which. Oh, they turned. They're not going that way. Oh, where are they going? Are they getting a burger? Well, they're stopping. Where's the convoy going? It looks like it's going in that building. What's going on here?
It's the Versailles restaurant in South Florida, we are told, which is where the motorcade is now stopping. These are decisions made by the campaign, and of course, that is always vetted. They're not going to pop into a place unexpected after.
So it's a campaign stop.
A sort of indictment in federal court. John Santucci, this is a decision they wanted to make.
Okay, so let me just cover this, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Versailles restaurant in Miami. Donald Trump sitting in the courtroom, slumped over, grave and ashen-faced, clearly fidgeting, moving his thumbs, concerned. Donald Trump is indicted. Obviously, he feels guilty. Moments later, Donald Trump appears at the Versailles restaurant in Florida after his indictment hearing, having a campaign event. I love it. I love it. Only the Trumpster could do this. Only the Trumpster. He's doing a campaign. The demon rats try to take him out, and he sticks it in their face. Trump goes to a campaign rally on the heels of an indictment hearing. I love it. He wanted a Cuban sandwich. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is classic, man. This is classic. You gotta love Donald Trump, man. He's hilarious.
You know, it's interesting. It puts Donald Trump in a setting where, we know this is a guy that even pre-COVID was a bit of a germaphobe, didn't like always the gland handing and the shaking hands and being around people. But clearly, it's a moment they know they need to have. Donald Trump, I remember going to a diner with him. I think it was in New Hampshire the first time.
Yeah, a moment they need to have. No, it's sticking them, poking them right in the eye, man. This is great. This is classic Trump. They're at the Versailles restaurant after being indicted on 37 counts and arraigned. There's the Trumpster inside. Very poor camera quality.
Does.
And here we see the first images now. Again, Donald Trump making a stop after appearing in federal court here this afternoon in Miami.
Oh, he looks so depressed.
This is Little Havana.
Oh, he's so bummed out. He's so taken aback by the arraignment.
Cuban exile community. Cheers for the former president there. Indeed shaking hands. And some smiles. And of course, this was a decision made by those in this small circle that now travels with Donald Trump. Go ahead, John.
We were just looking at these pictures with you, David. We're looking to see if Walt Nauta is in the restaurant with him. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's obviously in the motorcade, and as we showed the images earlier, by his side. But we do see his Secret Service detail right with him, see some advisors as he's working the room.
Is there any plan, John, for him to address the cameras at this point?
We've heard that was something that was possible, David. I think they were going to work through the...
Donald Trump, ashen face, graven, slumped over in the chair, twiddling his thumbs, clearly concerned about the indictment before him and his future in a federal penitentiary. Moments later, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump travels in a convoy for 20 minutes and winds up at the Versailles restaurant, now holding a prayer session with Jews, Cuban Jews. Wow. He doesn't look like a germaphobe to me, yeah. Hey, Murray McGregor, welcome to you.
And not surprising that his political team in this campaign would suggest, you know what, you should make a stop here on the way to the airport.
Should make a stop because this is the plan to make...
That's right, it's the plan. It's to stick it in the eye of these evil people who've meant to destroy this man who's done nothing but devote his later life to restoring the greatness of this grand republic. You got to hand it to him, says Muktukatela. That's right. He was probably bored. Exactly, Carl. He was bored. That's why he was leaning over. This guy praying. He's got his arm on Trump's shoulder, man. This Jewish dude's throwing a prayer for Trump. Yeah, check it out. Donald Trump's bread at every time. Exactly. Pastrami on rye to go. I'll take a Cuban sandwich to go, folks. The Secret Service guys are having a hard time keeping control of this event, but all these people have been cleared. They've been cleared to be near the former president. That's how it works, folks. That's how it works. I won't go into detail how that works, but you have to be cleared to be in the presence of the former president within a certain distance of him. Yeah, that guy was praying, Tracy. He was saying a prayer for the former president. So I don't know who that lady is. She's obviously looking.
Rachel Scott.
Somebody's got a birthday.
Here from what you witnessed in that courtroom.
I did see the sexual assault there. I did see that. She touched him in an aggressive sexual manner. Me too. Me too.
Inside that courtroom. And David, I cannot underscore enough how striking this is to see the former president.
They're wishing.
Yeah, she can't express enough how striking the difference is. Well, maybe he was pissed off that you frog marched him into a courtroom over bullshit. You've been trying to destroy this man since 2015. Maybe that's why he looked that way. He don't look that way now. He's in his element now. Now, take the JoJo to the same shop. No, I don't think he arranged for the press. So this is someone's connection, which is very poor quality.
The airport again to fly back to Bedminster.
I think it's going great. I think it's a rigged deal here. We have a rigged country. We have a country that's corrupt. We have a country that's got no borders. We have a country that's got nothing but problems.
All right, I got to stop there just in case he uses the magic word about the events of 2020. But I just said we have a rigged, corrupt country, and there's no doubt about it. You can't question it. I mean, any true patriot can see just the double, triple standard of justice in the system, the corrupt officials that sit in the Biden regime who seek to divide this country, the critical race theory agendas, all the other stuff that's going on. I don't know. Is it Trump's birthday? They were like, I don't know if they're singing for Trump. Yeah, he was having fun. Love seeing this, Jen. I agree, too. This is fantastic. It's not angry Trump. It's happy Trump. He's having a great time at this event there at the Versailles restaurant in Miami. This place is going to get a lot of customers after Trump is there. People never heard of the Versailles restaurant are going to want to go there now. Yeah. Joe can't even get 12 people to show up at a rally to elect him to be president. Look at this. The man has been indicted and arraigned on 37 accounts of obstructing justice of all that. Look at these people outside there. Wow. They can't even buy people. Okay, he's coming outside now. Look at the top there. The media are coming out. They've rushed outside in the top right-hand corner of the video. You can see that. That means I think Trump is about to come out, or is he out? He's not outside already. He's coming out here any moment now. We'll see. Or is Trump out there? Is that? I can't see. No, he's not. He'll be coming out. Yeah, there he is in that vehicle right there. Trump's coming out now and out of the restaurant. Short campaign visit there at the Versailles restaurant in Miami after this ludicrous indictment. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Is he coming out the front? Did Trump change the plan? Trump changed the plan. He does that all the time. Did Trump change the plan to come out the front and piss off Secret Service? That's a very real possibility here, folks, as the agents scramble around the front of the building. Look at this. I think Trump has just broken the plan. Trump just went counter to what the plan was. Orange man bad. Okay, so his birthday's tomorrow. Thank you, Miss Tucatela. So his birthday's tomorrow. The Trumpster is gone against script and he's outside. Secret Service is nervous.
His job and what he does for former President Donald Trump. But this is a total shift from the former president, from what I just personally witnessed inside of that courtroom. Trump was stoic, he was restless, he was ready to move on. Clearly, he's eager to get back out in front of his supporters and paint his own narrative about what he believes this indictment is. But this is a complete and total mood shift in tone and demeanor from what we just saw here at this federal courthouse not too long ago, David.
And Rick Klein, our political director, just as you suggested, the campaign moves forward and...
There's the Trumpster. Look at that. He broke script. Look at the Secret Service dude, man. He didn't shave. These guys are allowed not to shave now. That's a new one. Trump gets in the vehicle right there, ladies and gentlemen. The Donald Trumpster gets in the vehicle, waving to his supporters at the Versailles restaurant in Miami, Florida. No wonder we took such a convoluted route. It didn't make any sense to me why they were going where they went. But here we go. Now you get to watch the security detail pull off. Trump does his own thing. That's right. I'm liking his new spray tan color. It's got a bit more brown. YouTube official said we can talk about Jonathan. I have not seen that written anywhere. They said we could talk about November 2022. I don't need YouTube to tell me what I can and can't talk about. It's a censorship platform, and I'm not going to risk anything. That's only for free speech platforms like Rumble and Odyssey, BitChute, not for this evil platform. And people being pushed back because the motorcade apparently is going to come through there would be my guess. You see the cruiser pulling away from the crowd now. And you see all those cars stop there. There's like 20 motorcycle cops there, and we're getting ready to go. Service is going to see that adrenaline is brown. Okay? Trump does his own thing. Yeah, here we go. All right, so it's time for the Trumpster to get rolling again. Looks like Right Side Broadcasting was unaware of this event. They were caught unawares. They don't have a helicopter. There they go. And we'll see all those motorcycle cops take off first. Okay, quit going behind that tower. And we still haven't seen any of the vehicles move. They're still stationary there. Trumpster's sitting in one of those vehicles. Those vehicles are incredibly heavily armored with bulletproof tires, reinflatable tires. They are unbelievably heavy. They weigh thousands of pounds, folks. They are something else. I had an armored vehicle which wasn't nearly as well protected as the president's when I was in Liberia, and we used to go through rims like crazy because the roads had nothing but potholes. All right, so look at all those motorcycle cops whipping by. You can just see their head on the screen as they whip by. And now the motorcade will take off. Here it goes from the Versailles restaurant. Here goes the motorcade with the president of the United States, former President Donald John Trump, Secret Service agents. This, you can only imagine how many man hours went into this, scheduling this, planning this, and how many man hours went into just orchestrating and choreographing this entire situation. There goes the car with the former president in it. Oh no, is he going to stop and get out and say hello to supporters? They will go bat crap crazy if he does that. They will go crazy. He told him to slow down. He must be waving out the window. But those windows don't go down, so I don't know how he does that. No one can see him. So they just lining up. Trump does go off script here in Miami, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, we're off to the races. The former president in that car, and you can see the motorcade behind him now and the escort of police cruisers. The motorcycle cops are already zipped out. You can see one right there blocking traffic from entering onto that route. And now he'll head to the airport, presumably after his short campaign stop at the Versailles restaurant. Comical listening to these people. Yeah, Trump and Ramaswamy. Yeah, that would be a good choice. I think Vivek Ramaswamy would make a great vice president. I have no problem with that campaign banner. That would work. Don't you think it was an arranged press conference? Just show he's not phased. Oh, yes. Well, Tracy, no, it's an arranged. This wasn't out of the blue. This whole thing was orchestrated, no doubt. But you're asking if the press, I mean, not all the press are there. So he may have invited some press to come to the event because he announced a campaign event. Yeah, that's all organized. Yeah, that's all organized. He took advantage of being in Miami and did a campaign stop. Absolutely. I'm not disputing that. Not disputing that at all. I think maybe what I said you misunderstood or I misspoke in some way. Anyway, so who cares about Jonathan Karl? There is the convoy right there moving through Miami. Trump's stopover is more climate change. No doubt about it. Joe Biden talking has created climate change. No doubt about that. Yeah, I'll tell you, this is classic Donald Trump at his best. And it's just unbelievable. Moments after the media busily reporting how he was ashen and stoic and slumped over, clearly in his chair, fiddling with his thumbs, concerned about his prison sentence. And here's Donald Trump on the campaign trail, waving and shaking high, giving hugs, taking photo ops. If you hit the potholes, the cops think you're drinking. That's true. They seem to shuffle. Yes, Chris, I'm not going to discuss security measures. You can draw from what you want. We've all watched Olympus Is Falling and the Die Hard movies, so you can figure that out. But yeah, so you notice the pace a little bit faster here. They're going a little bit faster. I suspect going straight to the airport from here. We'll continue to watch this for a little bit longer. The Miami International Airport is not that far from the city itself. In fact, it's surrounded by the city. Last time I was there, the city was all around it there. In fact, I was at the Miami International Airport. That's where U.S. Southcom had its headquarters, was at the airport, or right next to the airport, actually, just on the other side of it. Here comes a car down that side road. What's that all about? Is that a Secret Service vehicle? And that black vehicle, see it approaching in the top right-hand corner? Okay, we've passed that now, so if they're trying to intervene, they'll be stopped by somebody. Yep, you can see the motorcade moving as it's headed to the airport, presumably. Yep. Interesting to look at humanity from above, isn't it, folks? Our urban settlements, what we build. It's pretty crazy to watch these things from above. I presume this is a helicopter rather than a drone. A drone would have run out of juice by now. Okay, they need to fix that camera. That's giving me vertigo. Okay, there it goes. Now it's even. They must have tried to pan there. Didn't work very well. Interesting that no one's stopping anybody on this portion of the route. Motorcycle cops are not blocking any entrances. That's interesting. And we're doing it before. There you go. There's the cops blocking traffic at an intersection. That makes more sense. And we go. Continue on the route. I'll tell you, the left is going to have a meltdown here. They've missed their chance to film Donald Trump slumped over in his chair, stoic and ashen-faced. Instead, they've got a photo op as he goes to a campaign rally. Something Joe Biden is incapable of doing. He's yet to launch his campaign and actually do an event because he'll simply prove what a demented lunatic and an octogenarian he is, and he will basically take himself out of the race with his performance. That's why Biden is not on the campaign trail and why he didn't campaign 3 years ago. Since this is your CIA channel, why worry about YouTube? Did they change? Yeah, that's right. It's the CIA channel. It's Tallulah Moon here. Welcome, Tallulah. It is a crazy world. Absolutely. Let's see what this lady has to say.
Not backing down. He is not stepping away. He is here to stay. He's going to continue to soak up that oxygen, as Sarah was saying, for as long as he can.
And Mary, you touched on it there, and I know for our viewers who might have joined us in progress during our coverage today, we mentioned it at the very top several hours ago, but it was the First Lady who made news. And what exactly did she say?
The First Lady speaking behind closed doors to fundraisers where often your guard is down a little bit. She told donors that she finds it a little shocking that Republicans don't seem to care about the Trump indictment. And she referenced some of the latest polling, which Rick Klein has gone into detail explaining that, it's really shown that the Trump indictment hasn't had much of a dent in terms of his support amongst the American people. I think that has been surprising, certainly, to Donald Trump's rivals in this race.
Yes, it has been surprising. All your efforts to undermine him with your bogus comments, your bogus charges, your bogus allegations, your bogus impeachments, your bogus lies about him being a racist haven't worked. Haven't worked. Donald Trump doubled his support in the black community despite 5 years of you calling him a racist because his actions speak otherwise. Yeah, it's almost comical to see. So the First Lady, Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, doctor in education, not a real doctor, Dr. Jill Biden is astonished that Republicans still support Donald Trump. Well, I find it astonishing that any Democrats can support your husband, Jill. The man is a thief. He's a criminal. He is a pay-for-play operator, according to recordings that the FBI has in his possession, which they're covering up. Yeah, so what's going on here, Jill? I am astounded that anybody would support your husband for president. He didn't campaign. He said racist things throughout his entire public life. He accomplished nothing in 30 plus years in the Senate. He had one bill that became law, and that bill led to the automatic incarceration of drug offenders, particularly black men, putting black men in jail for 10 years with the 3 strikes and you're out. That's Joe Biden's singular achievement as a senator. He has no achievements as vice president. He was wrong on every decision. He said, don't take out bin Laden on the raid. He was wrong. He was wrong on every single decision made by the Obama administration, which was wrong about many things, but Biden is wrong about everything. And his presidency has been an absolute disaster. I don't know how these people can be so dishonest. Donald Trump is not flawless. He's got a big mouth. He's got an ego that is far too big for a human being. He has not accomplished some of the things he set out to do, but I'll give him a break on that because he had an obstructive Congress led by Ryan and McConnell, who were against him, and then the Democrats who were against him, who blocked legislation that needed to be done. But he's had the most consequential one-term presidency for the positive that this country has ever seen. And that's just a statement of fact. Statement of fact. So, been watching since he left court. Okay, Lars Salas, good to see you there. He's amazing, resilient. Yes, and he's 78 years old. Is that 76, 78 years old, something like that. When was he born? 40 something. Somebody said he's born in 43. Is that when it was? Was he born 41? Where's it at? Somebody gave the birth date there. I saw it earlier. I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, he's nearly 80 years old himself, and he's just unbelievably resilient. Trump is something out there. Okay, now we're getting out. We're getting out to where the airport's at, folks. All right, here we go. There you go. There's the airport. There's the airport. The first law enforcement officials arrived at the airport in a motorcycle, and they're coming now. All right, so he'll be getting on Air Force One. We'll end this broadcast once he's up in the air. 1946. Thank you for that. 46. So he's what? 46? He was born in 46? Okay. So he's 77 this year. He'll be 77 and tomorrow he'll be 77. All right, cool. And here they come up towards the airport, Miami International Airport. It's too hot and humid down there for me, folks. I just can't deal with Florida. Not my cup of tea. I don't know why people like it so much. All right, so here we go. Once again, the video's a little jumpy there. The more they try to indict, the more indict Trump, the more he becomes a martyr and a hero. Yeah. And here they go. Who's that Weasley-looking dude there, man? So Trump is entering the airport, it looks like, here. And did I say Air Force One? Sorry. Force of habit. Yeah, the Trump private jet, his campaign jet. Yeah, Trump is a baby boomer. Yep. Technically, so am I. But I'm also including the Gen X. I was born 6 days before the official end of the baby boom era. The baby boom goes to December 31st, 1964. So I'm a boomer. Yeah, way too hot and humid yeah, exactly. It's not my cup. I don't know why people like Florida. Okay, so are they going around the airport now? Okay. I thought that was the airport. Maybe that's not the airport. My bad. I don't know where they are in Miami. I don't know this reference point. So I thought that was the airport. My bad, folks. Yeah, there's the radar right there. That is the airport. It's just the angle. There's the runways over there. Yeah, okay. He is at the airport. Okay, so, all right. This is just the boundary, the outer boundary of the airport. So he'll be there shortly. Yeah, boomers rock, says Ants. Yeah, I agree. They built the world. Lights just dim the airport. Okay, so they're going to take it away. Come on. We don't want to see this guy who dyes his hair. Let's go back. Let's go back to the Trumpster, man. The guy, he's the one who looks ashen-faced. So I guess that's the end of their coverage, huh? That's the end of the coverage from, oh, no. Oh, they're going back. No, okay, it's still there. Still there. My bad. Here we go. We're coming back. Still there. They're still covering it. All right. They just got rid of that guy.
And then taking viewers on a live caravan, stopping off at a little Havana cafe to shake hands and smile for the cameras. Our breaking news coverage continues now right here on ABC News Live. I'm Kira Phillips for the...
Kira Phillips, yeah. So there's a sketch of the Trumpster in the courtroom. Yeah. I thought it was a female judge that was overseeing this case. That's not a woman. That's a dude with a little, Van Gogh down there. Interesting. Is that his co-defendant there, the short guy? They really made him look sad. The former Navy petty officer, they really made that guy look sad. All right, it's taken a while for the Trumpster to get over to his plane. Trump Force One. Overkill by Motorhead. Song ends 3 times. Exactly. He looks younger in the sketch. Yeah, he looks great in the sketch. That's a very complimentary sketch of Donald Trump, but not of the other guy. I think that's his co-defendant. Yeah, it's a big-ass airport, Arctic. Yeah, I know. I've been there, man. I've been to Miami. I've been to Tampa airports, Miami, Tampa, Atlanta, Charlotte. Whoops, we lost the video feed. I guess the drone ran out of gas. Okay, let me take it off for a second and see if it comes back here or not. Okay, let me get back to my camera. Oh, it's back. You guys quit doing this to me, man. This friggin', network is killing me. So let's see. Miami, Tampa, Atlanta, Charlotte, Charlotte, work our way up. Dulles, Reagan National, BWI, Philadelphia, Newark, JFK. That's it up that way. That's 10 right there. Buffalo, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Chicago's O'Hare. What else? What else? What else? What else? That sounds like a slow week in my life. Arctic. I haven't finished, man. I'm still going. Look at all those trains out there. Wow, those barriers. Is that intentional? They put those trains up there to block and make it safe? All right, where did I leave off at? I left off at Columbus. Nashville. I already said Chicago. St. Louis. Work my way down here. What else down there? Denver. Ottawa. Vancouver. Toronto. San Francisco. Los Angeles. Las Vegas. Phoenix. Is that all of them? That's all the major ones. Oh, I've been to other ones too, like in Alabama and other places, tiny little places. Arctic's trying to show off. Arctic's just trying to show off. The Trumpster. Donald Trump, ashen, sullen, slumped over, clearly nervous and not comfortable in the courtroom. 15 minutes. Where the hell are they going? That's not where the airport is. What is this? The Trumpster's taking us on a merry ride. What's going on now, man? Where are we going now? Is it maybe it's the private jet side of the airport, not the commercial side. They have those. Those are just airports here in America, man. I haven't even talked about Europe, Schiphol, Frankfurt, Munich, Berlin, London. Of course, there's Heathrow, Stansted, Luton. What else? London City Airport, Isle of Man Airport, Dublin, Barcelona, Rome. Where else have I flown into? Istanbul. Oh, Stockholm. Yep. Anyway, maybe also the air conditioning was broken in the courtroom. Yeah, it could be. Okay, I don't know where we're going now with the Trumpster. This convoy is just circling the airport here. I'm not really sure what's going on. Yep. Are they coming in from a different angle, or are they just teasing us here? Trump's not going to drive to New Jersey. Okay, he's going around the other side there. All that traffic blocked off there. It's a ride along. Yeah, it is a ride along. Hey, folks, that's right. That's that movie. It's a ride along. Yeah, ride along. That's right. We're all doing a ride along with the Secret Service here. Yep. Anyway, I want to break free. Look at that car coming up the other side there, man. Now it looks kind of ominous. Okay, there we go. There's the fence line for the airport again, I presume. Not been to Doha. No, I've been to Riyadh. Or no, I've not. No, Dhahran Airport, not Riyadh. Dhahran Airport. I've been to. Where'd I go? Was it Tel Aviv? I'm trying to remember where it was in Israel. I landed. Anyway, no, it was at the military base. I didn't land at Tel Aviv. I've been to the airport in Tunis. I've been to the airport in Marrakesh, in Rabat. I've been to the airport in Abidjan, in Accra, in Monrovia. I've been to the airport in Abuja, Gaborone, Cape Town, Durban, Joburg. Where else? Nairobi. Zanzibar. Dar es Salaam. There you go. Oh, they got to pay a toll. They're paying a toll. Look at that. They're going through a toll booth at the airport. What the hell is that? I've been to Uppington, Hendo. Thank you for that one. I forgot about that one yet. Trump's giving me a tour of what? I can't read it because that little heart's down there. All right. So, man, this is like the roundabout way to get there for sure. For sure. No doubt about it. It's the ride along with the Trumpster, man. Look at that. Man, that's a lot of concrete. Look at that. That's a lot of concrete. Are we going to see it? Then you see all those cargo bins for bags that get loaded onto planes. There's Worldwide Services. What's that, UPS? I don't know. Here we go. Come on. Are we going to get to Trump's plane? Boy, they've really messed with operations here at Miami International Airport. There's the tower, finally, ATC, Air Traffic Control. Yep. Sierra 5-6. This is Whiskey 3-2 on approach. Sierra 5-6, ILS. Ceilings, 3,000. Visibility, 3 miles. Winds, southwest, 14 knots. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, look at that. That's an old historic plane sitting there. It's an old meteorological flight. FedEx on the airfield. Man, to be those cops, how cool is that, man? We are just trolling along here with the Trumpster. There's footage on the right-hand side of Donald Trump when he was at the Versailles restaurant there in Miami. I said Heathrow and Luton, Stansted, been to all of them. Paris, I forgot to mention Paris. I've also been to the airport in Lisbon. Forgot about that. Been to the airport in Bonn. What else? Bonn. Oh, I've been to the airport in Talon. Airport in Athens, Greece. The airport in Mallorca. Yeah. Yep. Been a lot of airports, man. Venice. I forgot about Venice. I used to fly out of Venice airport all the time because I was stationed down near Venice. It's a big FedEx plane right there. Yeah, no, all that concrete definitely doesn't make it cooler, that's for sure. Something good. Good old Goldie. Welcome, good old Goldie. Something good. What's something good? We are just going with a ride along for the Trump motorcade. The former president being led out to presumably Trump Force One. And we're waiting. There it is. There's the Trumpster's jet right there, sitting back there, waiting for the president who was arraigned on 37 counts today. And he pled not guilty to all 37 counts. And the media tried to describe him as sullen, ashen, stoic, clearly uncomfortable, twiddling his thumbs, his shoulders slumped over in the chair. But the artist rendition of him looks like he's standing tall there. It makes him look about 20 years younger than he actually is. Very lovely artist rendition there of the Donald Trump. And then immediately after that, there you go, on the right-hand side, you can see it, the young Trump. He looks like a Marvel superhero there, the young Trumpster there. And then Trump went to the Versailles restaurant in Miami and had a campaign event. Smiling, laughing, hugging, doing prayers. Yeah, that's a terrible parking spot. I don't know what's going on with that, Arctic. I know. I was like, that surprised me that that's where the aircraft is at. Okay, I don't know what's going on here with the camera, but we're getting obstructive stuff. I think they're flying by a tower or something like that. Yeah, that's that's not a great spot to be in. Not sure why. To be a billionaire, to have your own pilots, your own crew, go where you want, when you want, anytime at all, have a detail that cleans the plane. Trump will be in Bedminster, New Jersey in just a few hours after this. Good old Goldie, 37, man. What's 37? Is that the secret to the universe? Trump's climbing up the steps right now. There you go, folks. The former president, Donald John Trump, pled not guilty today to 37 counts in a witch hunt trial against him by his opponents who seek to undermine the events of 2024. There's Donald Trump making his way on. Is he going to turn and wave to everybody? Or is he waiting to be told he can go in? Look at that heat roiling as Trump makes his way onto the plane. And the Trumpster is in his plane. That plane will take off for New Jersey here shortly. Now, does it actually land at Bedminster or does it land at Newark and then he takes the convoy over there? I'm not really sure how that works with the Trumpster. I don't know what closest airport is that can support his aircraft. That's not exactly a commuter aircraft. Yep. Copy that, Charlie Whiskey. Yeah, it's a terrible parking spot. I agree with you. But there must have been a reason for that. Look at that little small jet to the right-hand side. That's something you think a millionaire would have, but I guess a billionaire gets his own commercial aircraft like that. Yeah, look at how big the Miami International Airport is. You can see that there's no activity there whatsoever. The entire airport obviously shut down. I'm sure this is pissing off a lot of commuters right now. I've landed at that airport, folks. Oh, there's a plane. I stand corrected. A plane landing or taking off. There's a flight taking off just right there. So apparently there's some flight clearance. A plane just departed. It's not shut down, says Arctic. Okay, yeah, I see that. A plane just took off. So why is there so little activity? When I landed at Miami, I've never seen more than 5 minutes without planes coming or going. That's the first plane I've seen take off since we were there. That's interesting. Yeah, feel free to subscribe to the channel, folks. Only for Air Force One do they shut it down. Yes, correct. I said it looks like it's shut down. That's the first flight we've seen. Now we've panned in closer, but that's the first flight we've seen take off. That would really piss people off. Yep. There's weather around Miami right now, says article. Thanks for that. So now I know where you're based at, because you're always talking about it. But thanks for sharing that. So the weather's slowing. Well, that's Miami, man. Crappy weather all the time. Sudden showers and thunderstorms pop up out of the middle of nowhere when you're in the Caribbean there, in that heat swell and that vortex that sucks up all that energy and creates the Gulf Stream that keeps Europe from being an icebox, the Gulf Stream. So Donald Trump on the plane, I guess, look at all that entourage that's got to get on there from the Secret Service and other folks to get on his plane. It's a pretty full plane. Imagine that Donald Trump gives all those people a free ride. They all get a free ride on Trump's plane. That's pretty wild, folks. Pretty wild. Wow. I mean, look, okay, let's just be objective here, folks, and talk about this for just a moment. I mean, let's be honest. Why not? If I'm honest, as South Africans always say, what else would you be? If I'm honest, I mean, honestly, Joe Biden is hiding in the White House. Donald Trump has been accused of violating federal law on 37 different counts. Donald Trump has been the target of this abuse since 2015. Donald Trump worked for 4 years as the president of the most powerful country in the world, ended wars all around the world, in Afghanistan, in Syria, in Iraq, restored America to its place in the world. Now, he didn't get deficit spending under control. Did all of that for nothing. He received no salary, while his personal fortune diminished by approximately 1/3 under the management of others, without his interference. Joe Biden, according to a Ukrainian official, took $5 million bribe as the big guy from Burisma. And we're still waiting to find out what the FBI is covering up about his dealings with China. Donald Trump accused of all these things, and he goes on a campaign tour right out of the courthouse. You got to respect it. 7 Peace Prizes. No, he didn't get 8 Peace Prizes. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, but of course they would never give it to him. They only give Nobel Peace Prizes to terrorists and to people who start wars. Terrorists like Yasser Arafat, given the Nobel Peace Prize, despite killing thousands of people and causing insurrection in the Middle East. They give a peace prize to Barack Hussein Obama, who promptly went out and started wars all over the world. Yeah, gave him a peace prize. Might have been something else, good old Goldie. Yep. Well, I don't know when it is before these guys take off, but it's approaching the 5 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Just think Trump's pilot must be women. Parallel part. Chris Holmes in Australia is starting a gender fight here. Starting a gender fight now. The law enforcement vehicles will pull away. And he's on the plane with his entourage, his security detail. And they'll go 20, 30 minutes minimum. Yeah, I figure, Arctic. Yep. So how does that work, Arctic? I mean, will they let him take off when he's ready, or does he have to get in the pattern and sit there behind American Airlines and Delta and any other chuckleheads, that get in the queue? I mean, how does that work, man? I don't know. I'm not a pilot. I've flown in many planes, and I've been in aviation units before, but I'm not really sure how that works. I mean, when I was in aviation, we got clearance. We didn't have to worry about it because we had weapons on our aircraft, missiles and rockets we could shoot at people. No, he didn't get a Nobel Peace Prize, good old Goldie. That didn't happen. No. He was nominated, but didn't get one. 10-10 for Cavalcade and their planning. Yeah, no, great planning here by security officials. Great job there. So, yep, we'll stick with this a little bit longer here. Let me move myself down a little bit there. There we go. There we go. Go over here. Cover these people up. We don't care about them. There we go. There you go. All right, let's get Trump up there. That's much better. Okay, so, yeah. Anyway, so that's the aircraft. We're waiting for it to take off. The abused is still being abused yet. He's smiling. If it's really busy, everybody gets a takeoff slot, but today he should just fall into the queue. Yeah, that's what I thought. But, I mean, you don't think they make any special doesn't the Secret Service have any say over that? I mean, I realize they don't get that over, family members who are protected by the Secret Service, former presidents. But the former president, I mean, the risk of a former president being assassinated is not as grave, but nearly as grave as the president, particularly one who's a candidate for president. He's not only the former president, but he's currently a declared candidate for office, and so that has an impact, I think. But I'm not an expert. Arctic, you know how the towers work. By the way, folks, for those who are curious, that's what I want to do. Ronald Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers when they went on strike in the early 1980s, and I wanted to become an air traffic controller. So when I enlisted, I asked about becoming an air traffic controller because it pays well. It's pretty cool. What's this former Trump official? What's this?
About jury selection. All of those things will take time. And that means that this case could get out of the news. There could be a lull in coverage. The political team is going to say, this is great. It's like 2016 all over again. No other candidates can get any oxygen. If we starve Ron DeSantis of attention, he can't move anywhere in the polls. And as the front runner, that's exactly what you want to see. And I think the polling we're already seeing post-indictment is bearing that out. Not only do Republican voters not want to see other 2024 candidates attacking Donald Trump at this point, but they even think that Donald Trump is still the most likely candidate to be able to beat Joe Biden.
Yeah, so somebody tell that to Chris Christie, Ron DeSanctimonious, I stole one of Trump's lines, and to Chris Sununu from New Hampshire. Knock it off. Kevin Wardlow says ATC will allow him to taxi and take off ASAP. That's air traffic control, folks. Arctic says not FAA-controlled airports unless a verified threat is received. Arctic says, are you a controller? Do you want to die at 52 after 3 packs of smoke? Living off coffee. Well, no, that's what I want to do, man. That's what I want to do. I want to be an air traffic controller, but when I enlisted in the Army, which has air traffic controllers, the military air traffic controllers were assigned to civilian airports in that crisis. And when that happened, I wanted to be an air traffic controller. And when I enlisted in the Army in 1983, there were no slots in the training course for air traffic controllers. They were full because everybody wanted to become an ATC. So I never did it. I wound up in telecommunications for my first stint in the U.S. military. And I always wanted to be an ATC. Okay, here, is that a golf cart or is that that looks like a golf cart. That is definitely not the tow truck. Yeah, somebody just got picked up on that golf cart and they're zipping away. Yeah. Did you have to go there? Hope you have medical. What? Oh, Chris Holmes. What's Chris Holmes? Where'd Chris go? Okay. She's responding to Chris and his gender comment. Okay. Typing my LH. Lots of typos. Oh, your left hand. Anyway, I seriously want to be an air traffic controller. Also, before that, before Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a forest ranger. I love forest. It's in my blood. It's definitely probably in my DNA from my origins in Scandinavia and the Celtic lands and Central Europe. Oh, I just saw something flip up there on the front tail assembly. Yep, it's the marshaller. He's plugged into the plane during start. That's so his, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Arctic. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. And there goes movement. Plane's moving. Here we go. Trump Force One is now taxiing on whatever ramp that is. What ramp is that, Arctic? Do you know which ramp it is? I can't tell. I don't see the markings. Okay. You need to talk less to be an ATC. It's probably why I couldn't do it. I talk too much. I love the TikTok channel where they do the recordings of air traffic, air emergencies, and with the towers. It's really wild. Yep, taxi light on cargo ramp. Yeah, it's cargo ramp. Yeah, but I'm trying to see the number. 34. Okay. All right, here he comes. That's an awesome aircraft, man. I'd love to have that. I'd love to have my own aircraft. Hell, I'd deal with a helicopter. I'd be pretty good with a helicopter. So obviously, folks, our South African pilot here, Arctic, is very familiar with the airfield at Miami. So look at that other jet over there. It looks like a tiny little Piker compared to Trump's jet. Big American flag painted on it, red, white, and blue. Trump, that is a nice livery. That is a gorgeous livery. All stage, real emergencies get very quiet and calm. Yeah, I know it's staged, Arctic. I know. It's still entertaining. I didn't say it was real. I said it was entertaining. So awesome. So he's headed off to Bedminster, New Jersey, where his golf course and golf club is located at. Bedminster, of course, is also the headquarters of AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph headquarters. Their global operations center is located, the GNOC. Yep, the GNOC is located there in Bedminster. I've been there when I worked at the National Security Agency. AT&T invited us up, and we went up there and looked at how they do their operations as a way of considering how we would format what we were doing in the National Security Agency. It's an amazing operations center, really cool stuff. It's a shame it's in New Jersey. Otherwise, I'd like to work there. All right, so I'm looking to see if I see any unusual liveries out there. Oh, there goes an American Airlines plane. Is he coming in or taking off? Looked like he was slowing down. Yep. So the Trumpster in the Trump Force One. Here we go, folks. I'm looking to see, if this was Africa, you'd be seeing disused C-47s and Dakotas lying all around the airfield. Tires off, DC-9s. That's what you'd see if it was an African airfield, man. There's a United aircraft over there. Well, we're waiting for the takeoff. We're going to hang a bit longer for that. But just as a recap, folks, to let you know, Donald Trump appeared in Miami federal court, where he pled not guilty to 37 federal charges today in the witch hunt effort to get Trump yet again, something they've been trying to do since 2015. The media endlessly, breathlessly reported that he was slumped over, shoulder slumped. He was ashen, stoic, twiddling his thumbs, clearly not comfortable in the courtroom. Atlas Air, well, that's a cargo company. That's a 747 there. 2 of them. Wow. And then moments later, after he traveled over to the Versailles restaurant in Miami, he was full of life. You can see him in that video right there below me, Donald Trump in the Versailles restaurant. He was full of energy, shaking hands, and everything but kissing babies, man. There's a JetBlue aircraft. I love JetBlue's livery when it looks like that, but not the other ones they come up with. They're hideous looking, some of their livery. By interest of full disclosure, I'm a shareholder in JetBlue and Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, yep. Pan Am building. Wow, there is no Pan Am. I guess that's just a historic name. Is Pan Am back as some sort of holding company? Wanted to be as well, since a Cub Scout in Maryland, I had set it up, Potomac Wildlife Refuge. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, no, forestry is awesome. I love forestry. You know that North America has more forest cover today than it did when Europeans arrived in the 17th century. There's an image of Trump from underneath the aircraft as he went on the plane earlier. Yep, more forest land now than when the Europeans arrived. And, of course, this is after colonists in New England stripped the forest and put fields down everywhere. Of course, the soil was not conducive. It's very rocky soil, kind of like here in Pennsylvania. We got a lot of rocky soil here. It's interesting. There's a cornfield, a maize field on the way to Carlisle Barracks where there's big outcroppings. They can't do anything because there comes a little commuter aircraft coming in. Yeah, just the properties. They just own the rights to it. Yeah, but they're not flying anything. That's what I thought, Arctic. Yep. Pan Am was iconic. I flew on Pan Am. In fact, I went to war on Pan Am. I came home on Pan Am from Saudi Arabia in 1990. Was it 91 when the war ended? Yeah. When the war ended, I came home from Saudi Arabia on a Pan Am flight. Yep. Yep. With my weapon. Yep. What's with Japan? What are you talking about, Lynn? What's Japan? All right, come on. Trump, get in the air. Get in the air. All right. This is the part I hate. I mean, when you land in an airport, you taxi for like 10 minutes before you get to your gate or when you're taking off. It's crazy. It sucks. I hate that. But I mean, they're big aircraft. I mean, it's a big airfield. You can't just, All right. So, is he ready? That is an awesome looking plane. What model is that? Do you know, Arctic? I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. But it's got some powerful engines on it. I wonder if they're Rolls-Royce or GE. $757. Thank you. Okay, that's why it's such a narrow body. Okay. All right, here we go. There you go. Look at that wing glistening in the sun. 757. Piedmont. Wow, Drunken Yoda. Okay. There was an airline called Piedmont. There we go.
Kira Phillips, ABC News Live, is here for you anytime with the latest news.
All right. There goes the Trumpster. Flying to New Jersey, folks. And away it goes. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. That is pretty cool. There goes former President Donald John Trump on his way back to New Jersey as he departs Miami after he was arraigned on 37 federal counts accusing him of crimes. Yep. And he defied all expectations of the media who wanted to get him. But look at all the free press that Trump's getting. Look at his composure. Look at his appearance at the Versailles restaurant. It's pretty awesome, folks. Pretty awesome. Pretty easy to spot. There's a block tracking on it. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Well, my head's all over the place. I'm trying to do a million things here at once. I reckon you have a bad landing in that, and the Trump just fires. Yeah, exactly. So how was it? Well, it was interesting to say the very least, folks. Very least. All right, so Right Side Broadcasting has ended. Everybody's ended their streams of that. So we're going to wrap up here. We went through the indictment. Hang on a second. Cancel. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah, I want to close this one, not that one. All right, so went through the indictment. That's it. Donald Trump has, we got 86 likes. Thanks. A little bit of super chat revenue, too. We got twice as much revenue in this stream as we got all month in 12 days prior to this. Yep, thank you. All right. So appreciate it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. It's nearly 5 p.m. on the East Coast. If I'm going to go to the Bears game tonight, I'm going to have to get moving no later than 5:30 to depart the house because the game is at 7. But I'm not sure I'm going to go now. We'll see. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a lovely night. I think I want to watch Trump tonight when he's in New Jersey, or at least watch my Vegas Golden Knights game. Thanks, everybody. Take care. It's always a pleasure. And we'll catch you here next time on this channel, which we've been a little slow on this channel this week. So take care. Be sure to give us a like and smash that like button before you go. Bye-bye.